everybody. It is Thursday. I'm Luna. Maybe you can hear me better now. Your favorite Christian witch on deck. I'm here, much rested. I hurt my ankle yesterday playing with drumsticks and smashed the crap out of my ankle. But we got a great show for you tonight. And here's what's coming up. Stop letting violent offenders roam the streets. The business of hate. Don't make toddlers trans. Friends that are crazy together, stay together. Joy Reid is a fucking idiot. No wonder she was fired. Producer note, I hate her too much to be clever. Ha ha. Confronting paid protesters. White versus white. Biden's toddler hotline. Trump reminds us Charlie Kirk was spitting bars before Islamic takeover for a hot minute. George Soros going typically shitty George Soros things. Mamdani says, hold me back, bro. New York is cooked. Country dudes take on Mamdani. More Mamdani. More Mamdani. Islamic takeover. No way. Fortune tellers were scamming people. Tons more VHS dating videos. Did Trump just make peace in the Middle East? And someone get the fire extinguisher because the Dems' pants are on fire.
Liars.
All right. So, look, if you haven't noticed, there's a theme to my show. I have a personal vendetta, against those who want to take us down. Anyway, on that note, how about we stop letting violent offenders roam the streets? Do you guys like feeling safe? Do you like feeling like you don't have to lock your doors? Are you comfortable sending your kids to school? We've had a lot of crime. Super glad that National Guard is out. But let's look over at why I'm going on a tangent about stop letting violent offenders roam the streets. As you can see here from the Daily Wire, we have a Kentucky man who brutally killed a 6-year-old child, and they deemed this crime non-violent. Okay? Non-violent. Murder, apparently, is no longer violent, folks, under a certain state law. If you want to go to the next slide. So, this man, Ronald Exantus, maybe that's the first problem. Maybe that last name, I don't know, because is that even a real last name? If it is, it sounds kind of Greek. He don't look Greek. I wonder if he's even American. I don't know. Let's keep reading. He stabbed 6-year-old Logan Tipton to death and was just released from prison 13 years early. So, got convicted, then got paroled and released from prison. So the Daily Wire reached out to the parole board, and they said that and this is the South, folks, South, Kentucky law, Logan's killer is considered a non-violent offender. He stabbed a child to death and then went on to assault the entire family, and yet he is non-violent under the law because he was only convinced of second-degree assault. So I guess they're paying attention to the word second instead of assault. The murder didn't count at all because he was not guilty by reason of insanity. Yay! Your favorite Christian witch is a forensic psychologist. Do you know how hard it is to find a case that's actually legitimate by reason of insanity? Just because that they're insane doesn't make them not violent. In fact, insanity can make you more violent because you don't have the mental faculties to be plugged in to reality. You don't understand what's right and wrong. That makes you more prone to antisocial behavior. So, apparently, Ronald Exantus non-violently stabbed a child to death, they said. Non-violently stabbed a child to death. And then stabbed the rest of the family after breaking into their home. This is non-violent, though. So if they had protected themselves from this nonviolent crime, I bet you would have seen the tables reversed and them get arrested. And then Mr. Ronnie, his fake Greek family, I don't know, it's a weird last name, Exantis, his family would end up suing these poor victims. Let's go to the next slide. And then Matt Walsh goes on to say, from what he can tell, this claim is true. Under the law in the state, you can stab someone and still not qualify as a violent offender. But this does not get the parole board off the hook, he says. He says all it does is implicate every single legislator in Kentucky who either had a hand in passing these laws or who failed to change the laws. Let's go to the next slide. And then you see again, they let a man who stabbed and killed Logan Tipton walk free. This should be a rallying cry that speaks major systematic changes. There must be justice for Logan. But for all of you that are on the video, what's the truth? Why do you see that there is no rallying cry for little Logan? Why do you think that is? Oh, is it because little Logan is white? It's probably why. Because if this was a little black boy, you would be seeing the country burning down like what happened with George Floyd. I digress. So, let's get into the business of hate.
If you are on the left, you are not my enemy.
It is with pride that we announced our next guest. Thank you, Cheng, for coming on.
No problem, Tucker. Thanks for having me on. I think it's important that we have a moment like this where we try to bring the country together.
I can't stand this journalist, the one in the blue. I can't say that name. I forgot what he calls. Yeah, the Young Turks guy. He annoys me. I didn't realize he was going to be in this video. I didn't watch this video totally already, but, it was in my box to go over.
Amen. I so strongly agree.
Wake up. Because I am telling you, this is not a battle between left and right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you.
Oh, what a hug.
We have to now meet in the middle.
Do you think that America should just cut ties with Israel altogether?
What's your definition of cut ties?
Like stop funding them,
Yes,
stop being their military
yes,
arm?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm on
great.
record saying.
Okay.
Maybe that has nothing to do with his last name being Hassan. I would have rather a Smith or something said that, but point still stands.
What you're doing here is so important, Congresswoman Green, so please thank you, because I know that you now have a target on your back, and I'm sure you're being called all sorts of ridiculous names because you want to, prioritize the American people.
AIPAC needs to register under FARA. I've openly demanded that, and if we had a Department of Justice that was doing its job, they would be investigating AIPAC. But I think the American people see through it, and the tide is rapidly changing, and I tell you, one of the most delightful experiences I've had since I've been in Washington is that I'm finding common ground with people on the left and the right that really want to focus in on America.
Yeah. Oops. Damn it, I did it again. Because MAGA is not Democrat or Republican.
If you're on
that is American. It's America first. There's a lot of topics that both Democrats and Republican voters actually agree on, and I distinguish it differently than the politicians, the voters, the people. Like our First Amendment, we agree on that. Our Second Amendment, I haven't met a soul. When I was running for Congress, we had an open primary. That means lots of Democrats got to vote in that primary. We were 3 Republicans running, and of course, I took, all the Democrat votes, but because, they see like Lopez, Luna, dark skin. But when I talked to them out and about campaigning, I was the only one of the 3 that actually made contact with Democratic voters. And you know what I found out? They all love the Second Amendment and they all want their guns. That's just a couple of examples. You know what? Before I get back to this, I don't want to get too far into this. Actually, I can wait because I don't have to wait too long to get to something I was going to say at the very beginning of the video because I want this to be heard quickly in my video. It's something going on locally, but I'll wait. Let's continue this video.
a target on your back, and I'm sure you're being called all sorts of ridiculous names because you want to, prioritize the American people.
AIPAC needs to register under FARA. I've openly demanded that, and if we had a Department of Justice that was doing its job, they would be investigating AIPAC. But I think the American people see through it, and the tide is rapidly changing. And I tell you, one of the most delightful experiences I've had since I've been in Washington is that I'm finding common ground with people on the left and the right that really want to focus in on America. And I think that's the best thing that can happen. And that's why I'm delighted to have conversations with the two of you. And I look forward to finding more common ground because I think that could be the best thing that could happen for all of us.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia, we appreciate you coming on the Young Turks.
Thank you.
I just want to say this about Congressman Massey, and I hope I don't hurt him more in his district by saying nice things. But wherever you are on his ideology, he's a profile in courage. I mean, he's got billions of dollars being spent against him. He's got billions of dollars because people don't want the Epstein release. He's got billions of dollars because AIPAC has been attacking him.
If you are on the left, you are not my enemy.
Okay.
It is with pride that we announced our next guest. Thank you, Jen, for coming on.
No problem, Tucker.
I
Thanks
just
for having
wanted
me
to
on.
say the reason why I wanted to play this video is so that early on in the show, if you're listening and you are a progressive or you're a Democrat, don't think that this channel is not for you just because you hear that I am, a constitutionalist. I'm a constitutionalist. I love talking to everybody because the Constitution doesn't know the sides of an aisle. I welcome any Democrat or progressive to come on my show and have a conversation with me. I value your perspective. You'd find that most of us I say conservatives, not us. Most conservatives have huge hearts just the same as those who are concerned for social issues. In fact, Republicans, I think, are kind of a dying breed, and I think that most people are center, but what we're seeing is two different groups of people in that center, and that's those who are atheists and those who are not. And I think what will join us back together is inviting spirituality into the conversation, because then it takes away the primal urge to fight, because now you've just invited God into your conversation. Now there's three of you there. So if you want to come on my show and you want to present your side of the argument, please do. I welcome it. I'm not here to tear you down and unless you get on and you say something weird that's kiddie stuff, and I will, hey, you leave yourself open to me and my viewers. So, but I played that because I think really it's we need some feel good sometimes. We need to realize in reality, I don't think we really all hate each other. I think they're telling us to, and I think it's a very ignorant few that believe, that we're inherently a bad country. But so before I get on to my next video, I want to tell you guys about someone in a school here in Jacksonville. Okay. This is at Seaside Mandarin Charter School, and I will be hashtagging them in the comments because I want this to go out publicly, because any adult that puts themselves around children and is behaving in a sexualized manner should be publicly condemned and shunned. So, Mr. Zach at at Mandarin Seaside Charter in near the Orange Park area. Mr. Zach has been observed by me, okay, in the car rider pickup line for the last few days. It's Thursday. Since the beginning of the week, walking around with very thin gray gym shorts. Where do you think I'm going with this, folks? He is advertising his gigantic squirrel in his pants, flopping all around like it's on crack around a bunch of underage children. his junk is huge and he knows exactly what his pants look like. So I finally say something to one of the teachers in the car rider line yesterday. And her reaction was just, ew. Not, oh my God, no, that is so wrong. I didn't even notice, and we will handle that right away. No. Guess what? Today, still flopping around his anaconda in his pants around children. I mean, but it's so gross and disturbing. It makes me, as a very sexually open-minded person, uncomfortable. Because this is a children's school where they spend 8 hours of their day away from our eyes and away from the loving care of their parents, where we are forced by the law to put our trust in strangers for the sake of their education. Well, I find out that this man, was going up to the popular girls in 7th grade. Just this, and one day says something to these girls. The child couldn't give me an exact quote of what he said, but what he said was something along the lines of little girls and grown men. And then further is seeking out these same group of little girls, the little popular girls, and is always seen by the other girls around these little girls with his gigantic wee-wee flopping around with no underwear on in a middle school with elementary. It's a K through 8 school. Now, if you get a bug to bring the school's attention as a community to our disdain for this behavior, please feel free to do that. They have voicemail. You can leave your comments anonymously or with a fake name about Mr. Zach. And you can reference the fact that you heard it from Luna Lopez on her news show. Because Luna Lopez said something, and Luna Lopez was ignored. And now Luna Lopez is going to get her army and protect the children, is what we're going to do. Because if kids have a dress code at school, then all the more so should the teachers. If the teachers think they're immune to a dress code, we all know why there's a dress code. It's to protect the children from temptation and from predators. But meanwhile, it's okay for this grown-ass man to walk around with his fat thighs, pushing his junk out even further. Just like he's begging for someone to touch it. Okay, Mr. Zach. Seaside Charter in Mandarin, Florida. Google it. Look it up. Call him. I'm going to be making a call. And I will continue to update it. I will be meeting with the school next week about another matter. And I will be bringing that up. And it will be recorded. And they will know it's being recorded. But I will be recording it for legal purposes, documentation, evidence, and public awareness. Because every other parent that has a child in that school deserves to know that there is likely somebody there who is at least giving the appearance of somebody who's up to no good and has maybe a lack of respect for children at the very least. So, please listen to this video. Go back and listen to the very beginning so you can hear what's happening to this school and that they're not doing anything about it. And please give them a call and tell them about the pervert walking around this school that they're not doing anything about. I want you to do that. All right. So, on the topic of fucking perverts. What's up, Rambo, Chris DeSalva, Tad? Hey, how you doing? Swift Courage. Let's see, Mr. Baltazar. Glad to see all you guys in the chat. All right. Don't make toddlers trans people. Isn't this freaking common sense, man?
How about the show Cocomelon, which is for toddlers and babies? Tell me why. There is a clip from Cocomelon for toddlers showing off a little boy in a dress with 2 dads.
How about you break out those moves for your 2 biggest fans?
Oh, that's great. So he's a little fairy. He's a little fairy. This is for toddlers. This is for babies. And they just want to indoctrinate them as soon as they possibly can into thinking that that is normal. How about the show Coco Melon, which is for toddlers and babies?
I think we mentioned this like 2 shows ago. Do you parents actually sit down and like pay attention to what your kids are watching on public funded TV? I know we're all like super aware of like YouTube and all that stuff, and it's got like a lot of controls. But like when you put your kid down on like, you know, the public funded television, do you have a tendency to like believe that you can trust that? So you just kind of walk away and like, you know, do your housework. Keep an ear on that TV, because look at this. Just look at this.
Tell me why there is a clip from Coco Melon for toddlers showing off a little boy in a dress with 2 dads.
How about you break out those moves for your 2 biggest fans?
Go, that's great. So he's a little fairy. He's a little fairy. This is for toddlers. This is for babies, and they just want to indoctrinate them.
I don't understand it though. Like, why? It's just kind of weird. Like, there's a man attracted to other men. So when they adopt and or have either the child's adopted, obviously, or it's biologically theirs. But now they have a little boy. I don't get it. And now they want it to be a little girl. Like, I'm just so confused. You know, my cousin, who I really wouldn't get on the show, when they had their kids, him and his husband, you know, his gay friends were coming over, like, talking about this is my son, this is my daughter, and they were like, "Oh, you don't know that yet," and he was like, no, you're not gonna bring that around my kids. My kids are just fine. I have a son and a daughter, and they are perfectly made the way God said. I try to steer them towards the classics like Chuck Norris. Yes. Can't go wrong with old Chucky. Chuck Norris is like the GOAT. I even love Chuck Norris, and I'm a chick. But I'm probably not your typical chick. It's probably not fair for me to like compare myself to chicks, honestly. I shouldn't, because I was raised by a pack of males. So, you know, which is kind of interesting. Kind of makes sense that when I got molested 4 times when I was a kid, it was girls. Like, they think that women are safer, right? But they're not. And it's just kind of interesting. And now, to this day, I'm more comfortable with men. And a lot of, like, women judge me for having more male friends. A lot of men judge me for having more male friends. But you don't know my story. I grew up with 6 acres and 9 people on the property, and me, my mom, my aunt, my grandma. So I was the first girl born on that side of the family, on my dad's side. So there was like tons of boys, and they were all at the property because my dad was the only guy of all the siblings. So Uncle John was like everything. So the boys, it was just boys everywhere. And then on top of it, I was molested by women. So I didn't trust females the same way I guess other people do, you know? So you don't know my story. Don't judge me. Like, I'm like, this is just what I'm comfortable with. So it just kind of shaped me to be, I guess, kind of a tougher woman, because you don't get much of an option when you're raised on 6 acres of hobby farm with a pack of Scottish Scandinavian family. They all look like, you know, Thor and Loki. Seriously, they all look like Thor or Loki. They're cute. But did you know, moving on, did you know that friends that are crazy together stay crazy together?
Wow, look at all those lines in the sky. I've never seen clouds like that before. Ooh, did you hear? We're going back to the moon.
You mean back to the studio?
I don't know who this is like. Not at all.
Right? Because we never went to them. And everything was staged.
Oh my gosh, that celebrity looks awful. Must have ran out of her adrenochrome.
That is always me in the room.
Look, kids, look at the dinosaurs.
AKA dragons, am I right? Because dinosaurs are really dragons.
Because dinosaurs are really dragons. Sorry guys, hold on one second. We thought there was a hurricane going on outside because we have a storm. It was just somebody, my roommate, dropping something. Okay. Do you guys believe in dinosaurs? I want to know. Like, how many of you think that that's a hoax?
What do you think about that comet coming in November that everyone's saying is aliens?
Probably just a rollout of Project Bluebeam.
I don't know. He's just not the same Kanye that I used to know.
That MK Ultra will get to you.
Oh. Is this tap water?
Wow, look at all those.
No, seriously though, I love Kanye. I always was on Kanye's side. You know, I know what Hollywood and politics is like, and that's the first thing they do is try to make you look insane. Let's look at the chat. Tad, really want to hear my thoughts? Of course we want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear everybody's thoughts. Because if you're about to go on a tangent about dinosaurs not being real, well, you will give me something. Maybe you'll win me over. I don't know. For me, it's kind of like, I think I believe it. There's just too many things for me that, like, you know. Oh, he says, buckle up. Keep typing. I'm gonna put a little note to look at you as I go. Look at your chat, Tad. So give me, if you want to post links in the chat too for me to look at while I'm on here and do a blind reaction to, that would be really fun because my producer here can open a source for the browser. It would be easier, I think, if you sent it to me. You know what? I'm going to put producer Ryan's username here in the chat, Tad. And you guys can send it to producer Ryan's inbox right now if you want me to see any links. And it would be super streamlined for us to get, to play them. Because we are in the Instagram window right now. I have like so many windows because you have to have like one format for TikTok, one format for Instagram, one for Facebook, and one for YouTube, and one for the internet, and then one for just screen sharing your entire screen. It's just kind of, but we're using OBI. If we have any like OBS, I keep saying OBI. OBI must be something else from my life that I know. I'm going to hashtag OBS in here. So that way, if there's any OBS users who feel like being technical with Ryan.Lopez86, that would be cool. Welcome to the chat, Even Steven 2000. I love a good 2000 username. It's like dating it. I know you're my people when I see a 2000 username. If you're coming into the chat and you want me to do a blind reaction to a video, I don't really care what the topic's on. I talk about everything. I'm just here to talk about life. It's the beginning of the show, so I really run the show for the most part, but my goal is to get it to where I'm like really heavily user interacted. But if you want me to do a blind review, I will. I have just put producer Ryan's Instagram out there, and it's Ryan.Lopez86, not Brian. Ryan. So I don't know what it is today, but this sock on the mic is like really completely, totally like disorienting me because I'm a like little bit neurodivergent. Well, not a little bit. I'm like a lot of bit, but I do good with masking it. And so like when things change for me, I get really out of sorts because I do everything methodically the same. And I'm hyper aware to like I have something called hyperbody awareness and hyperspatial awareness. So my life, actually, not to get on a tangent too much about this, but my brain is like always operating like up here, and it leads to like constant fatigue because I can't not notice even the smallest things change in a room. So this sock, like the dimension, what? Yeah, the dimension of it, it looks better on camera. So I'm going to try to like get used to it, but I'm trying to like the dimension of it. It's like being, you know, a young adult and encountering your first gigantic wee. It's like, what do I do with this? It's too much mic for me. All right, let me look at the chat. So Tad says there's a theory that our concept of geological time is completely distorted. I believe that. So that said, fossil evidence could actually overlap with the junction of humans. Definitely agree with that. I think that was a biblical lie, a Christian lie, because the Bible actually mentions, I had to read the Bible front to back 27 times in my life every year. And there is actually reference in the Bible to dragons, dinosaurs, just different things like that. So I do think humans lived when dinosaurs did. So it says, that said, fossil evidence should actually overlap with the junction of humans. Every culture has a dragon myth reference. Yes. So I think dinosaurs overlap with early humans. I think you're right, Tad. And that is where we got dragons from. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think you are 100% right, because everything I've researched has taught me that dragons are dinosaurs. And if we have animals in the ocean that can produce bioluminescence, well, who's to say there wasn't some sort of creature that didn't have a gland that you know, would have filtered, I don't know, methane. I don't know. Like, it's possible. Like, look at what we discover in the ocean. It's kind of crazy. Like, I think we don't know a lot about early human life because I think it's suppressed. I think Hollywood wants to make, I think also there's like a scheme to make, you know, what seems more fantasy is going to make more money. Like, the more realistic it gets, the less interested people are in it. So I think, you know, that's part of one little tiny area of like why that. And Charlie Chirico says hello again. Hi, Charlie. How are you doing? If anybody has wants me to react to any videos or review any videos, you can I'm going to create an email address. I'm going to do it right after we get off for the show. Because like I said, this is a brand new show. So I'm going to create like an email address that I can make public. Hey, Max, how you doing? So you guys can like send me stuff that you want me to review or opinions on the content. Or if you want to yell at me, I don't care. Someone told me the other day, you look so much better without makeup, and I really prefer that. And I was like, oh, you're so sweet, thank you. But it's just about me feeling refined and like put together, and like I'm at a job, because when all of your businesses are in your home, it's pretty easy to look like a friggin' scrub every day, you know, especially because like half of my business is furry. They don't care what I look like. They just care what I smell like. So anyway, if you want me to, you can right now here in the show, which please, it would really make my show awesome and I could go on so much longer. But message producer Ryan in Instagram, forward the links. For now we're in Instagram. We're going to switch over to TikTok later. But right now we're in Instagram. So on Instagram, you can forward him any videos or memes or whatever you want. Ryan.Lopez86. Okay, he's got like Aquaman hair in the video. He looks really hot. You're welcome, ladies. I'm going to pin it in the chat. I'm going to restate this question. So I'm going to put in the chat, if you have questions, please ask. please ask or send vids for review on this show to producer Ryan. Whoops. At Ryan Lopez 80. Yeah, Ryan.Lopez 86. And hopefully that just okay, so that just went into my chat, and I'm now going to pin the comment Ryan.Lopez at 80 Ryan.Lopez 86. Okay. So I am like so excited for this next video because I love to throw shade on this person. She deserves every bit of it. Look, if you're a good person or just a good look, good people make bad choices. Good people do bad things, but then there's bad people, you know? And she's one of those people that I think's a bad person. And you'll see why in this video. Let's play it.
If you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes. There were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes.
No.
That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be...
Only a bitch with an Ethiopian body and a James Brown Halloween face mask ass could say some stupid shit like
I didn't even see this part.
Who the fuck don't want to pass down some shit to their kids where they don't have to pay money
Right,
for it?
I was going to say all this.
How the fuck could you make that sound bad? Who the fuck want to pay income taxes if the country can run without it?
Hold on, before he keeps going, let me
bad?
just say what I want to say about this, because I did not see... Can you close it and then reload the video? I didn't see Mr. Ace Smart's... By the way, Ace Smarts, if you ever see this video, love you. You're killing it. Okay, Joy Reid says MAGA is fascist. Check, don't play. MAGA's fascist because we want no income tax. Taxation without representation. Income tax is illegal, by the way. We're fascist. America First agenda is fascist because we want less regulation. She's wrong. It doesn't say no regulations. No regulations is just irresponsible. Come on now. What we want is conservative government. Conservative doesn't mean I dress conservatively or I don't use curse words. I cuss like a sailor. I am a constitutionalist, which means all we need is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. If it falls outside of that, it is a crime. Period. Everything else is unregulated, and you let the social matrix determine the pecking order, right? So, no, she's wrong. We don't want no regulations. We want less, minimal government. But we're so fascist for that, right? We're fascist. Do we even fucking know what the word fascist means? Fake, ass, shitty, communist, ignorant, shitty, trans bitch. That's what fascist means. So fucking my acronym. We're fascist because we want to earn what we want. We want to make more money. We like economic prosperity. We like not having our jobs assigned to us based on a test and then everyone getting paid the same. You know, we like, oh, if I'm a neurosurgeon, you gonna pay me more for that than you would if I were to come clean your house. I have several businesses. Oh my gosh. I'm a fascist because I want to leave my money to my daughter and my big beautiful house and my M650. How dare me want to leave my daughter, my flesh and blood, my wealth that I worked very hard for. Didn't inherit it. Yeah, my daddy's white. I don't know what white privilege is, as we were freaking kicked out of his bloodline family for being good people. They were Masons. And then my mom's an immigrant, legal immigrant. So as you can imagine, when I grew up in the hills of the Appalachians. See, I'm a hillbilly at heart. I never wear shoes. There's always dirt under my fingernails. I'm always doing something physical. I don't have to go to the gym because I am an outdoors girl. I'm a Renaissance girl. I do a little of everything myself. I like to be self-sustaining. I like to be independent. And I worked very, very hard watching my father and my mother struggle to make ends meet so bad that we had to crush aluminum cans, which, by the way, were all beer cans, because even though me and my brother weren't allowed to drink Coca-Cola, my dad had beer every day. Didn't know until I was last year of my life that my dad was an alcoholic. Because, you grow up in it and you don't know the difference because everybody drank. All of my dad's family were alcoholics. It's not like that anymore, but addiction is a gene that runs on my dad's side. So if you could imagine all the stuff that comes with that too. Yeah, I had to work real freaking hard. And life still isn't easy. And you think that this freaking grind that I just want to, share it evenly with people I don't even know that want to turn my country into a third world country? Fucking don't think so. I'm a fascist for that. Yeah. I'm not fake. I'm not an asshole. I'm not a shitty person. I'm not a communist. I'm not ignorant. I'm not shitty. I'm not trans. I'm not a fascist. How dare you want to tell Uncle Sam? You know what, though? I kind of am one of those, at the end of the day, I have my chant about being ungovernable, but, I know you have to have certain laws, but, come on, man, fuck Uncle Sam. They're asking us if it's okay to go bomb babies in Gaza. They aren't asking us if we want to spend $800 million on trans bullshit in Nepal. They didn't ask us that. So fuck Uncle Sam. Are you kidding me? Uncle Sam's a fucking traitor. Anyway, let's see what Ace Smarts had to go on about. I want to hear what he says.
Go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. Right. That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be...
Only a bitch with an Ethiopian body and a James Brown Halloween face.
He said Ethiopian body.
Stupid shit like that. Who the fuck don't
He's allowed to say that.
Want to pass down some shit to their kids where they don't have to pay money for it?
What's up, Glenn? What's up, Gwill? What is up, Max and Seeger? Woo, I can't even get through the rest of that username. If you're new to my channel, welcome. You might think immediately that I'm just, blindly conservative, but just hear me out and stick with me a little longer. I don't believe in party lines. Actually, I have a video pinned to my profile. It's the first video you see on my profile. If you're a fan of me, please watch that video. It's a requirement so you understand the premise to every single one of my episodes to Thirst Trap News.
How could the fuck could you make that sound bad? Who the fuck want to pay income taxes if the country can run without it? How the fuck could you make that sound bad? Then you keep saying the word fascist, bitch, spell it. Fuck. Say the definition every time you say it. Because it's obvious you don't fucking know what it fucking means.
Yes.
If you go back before the 20th century,
I'm so glad I paused that video so I could react to that before him. I don't mean to pick his videos. It just kind of keeps happening. He's popping right now. He's doing good. Look at, he's got almost 80,000 likes on his stuff. You know why? It's because he's black and speaking the truth. People love that shit. All right, brothers and sisters, open your mouth and start showing that you aren't lapping up the spoon of segregation. Yay, she got fucking fired. She's a crazy psycho yesterday. you guys have to start talking because these poor white folks are beat the fuck down. These white kids are trying to freaking kill themselves slowly because since birth it's being crammed down their throats that they're inherently evil. So, right, my brothers and sisters, start speaking up like this blessed man here. All right, I don't know how to work this thing because I'm old, so I just want to go on to the next video because Joy Reid, she's so. I hope she's got security. And actually, I don't hope she has security. But she I'm not gonna. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna confront some paid protesters, folks.
Bro, they're paying you $80K a year to protest? Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
I'm exposing one paid protester for every 100 followers I get. Now, you remember David Chung, the paid protester that stopped one of my last interviews? Well, he saw my expose on him, and I confronted him on his salary right to his face.
Yo, what's up, David?
Tad, I am really sorry to hear that. Talk about what is killing my family farms now. Message me on the side. I think I talked to you before. I think you, if I'm not mistaken, are an equestrian. And maybe I talked to you when I was running for Congress. And if you're in the state I think you're in, message me on the side and I will see if I can get you some help because I know a pretty good attorney over there. To help you on that and here on that stuff. So, yeah. Welcome, William. Speaking the truth. Love the username. Hang out with me a little longer, please. We are exposing some paid protesters.
Again, man. You want to talk at all about the last video? No, I'm good. What did you think of it?
No comment.
Did I get anything wrong?
No comment.
You got no comment?
He said no comment. You heard that? No comment. He paused between no and comment. This was the guy he exposed for getting paid $80,000 a year for protesting. See, J6 was a Fed op. You know how I know that for a fact? Because I was running for Congress during that election year, okay? And I was supposed to be there that day for the Stop to Steal. I got a call from a DC attorney that told me, well, not directly from him because it's never directly from them, but I know for a fact who it is. Not going to say who it is just yet. And I'm going to keep that card held close. But he called me and said through my campaign manager, don't go up there. Just stay put because some shit's going to go down. And then when the J6 protesters, a bunch of Florida people from J6 got locked up. So I went to protest in Tallahassee for them and found out that through my support for these people, I gained support from their families and friends, and so they started opening up to me about what was happening that day. And there were people dressed in black, literally handing out pitchforks, just handing them out like, here, just take this. Like, you know, when there's an experiment, hey, Ryan, put your hand right here. Put your hand out like this. Or, yeah, just like that. Or just look at me. So, see? He just took it. He just took my highlighter. It's natural reaction. So there were people just coming up and just shoving. If you're just right here, like just sitting relaxed, right? You don't have to hold your hands up. Just put your hands down. If someone just comes up and just says, here, that's just what happens. They just take it. And that's what was happening all around. People were stopping going, why did I just get handed this? And then they started seeing commotion up near the front. And when the commotion up near the front started, you see all the weapons that were just handed out starting getting passed to the front. People saying, send this to the front. Send it up there. Okay, so this guy is going and exposing the Soros-funded protesters. Let's watch. It's a big business. Man, you get paid good for this shit.
What? How are they paying you $80K a year?
No comment.
Are you gonna say no comment to everything?
Yep.
Yep. Bro, they're paying you $80K a year to protest? Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Tell me if it's wrong.
No comment.
David Chung is the general manager of a protest group called the People's Forum, and if you dig through their tax documents, you'll find that David Chung gets paid $75,000 a year to protest. Now, you're funding this behavior because this is David getting arrested at these protests. Now, the police do their job, but very quickly he's let out and back on the street to protest. Now, I'm sure the police are no fans of David, and David is no fan of the police. Here you can see David Chung modeling a shirt idolizing Assata Shakur.
But I'm going to back the video up a little bit because I want you guys to watch it. If you're watching this on recording after I've posted this, you can skip through a little bit if you want, but the buffering, the latency might get messed up a little bit, so just know that. So we're going to reload the video, but this is like fact. This is provable public record. And you know, when you have a political organization, you have to report your spending to get a notepad out, guys, to the FEC, the Federal Election Committee. So you can look up like George Soros, and then you look up what PACs he owns, and then you go to those PACs, you click it, and then those PACs, it'll say all their expenditures, it'll say all their earnings. It'll tell you who's getting paid what, and you can click on every single entity's name. And it's just really something that website's very easy to use, and it's just really something you guys should really learn and, you know, keep yourselves familiar with, because you really need to know where if you are into donating your money to further political things, I'm not knocking you for that. Like, I applaud that. But you need to be very, very fluent with how it works. Okay, so we're going to pick up. I don't get it. What were we saying upstairs? Oh, right. So, okay. So you can see he's like at the Whole Foods, in front of the Whole Foods market, right? So a couple shows ago, maybe 3, I was talking about some people that approached me during the George Floyd mayhem. And I was at just an intersection in a very wealthy part of town. That's one of those, it's one of those, little towns inside of a town kind of thing. And they have their own, fire department and their own everything, you know? So I was talking about how, all these white folks were protesting about George Floyd for nobody but other rich white folks. And they banged on my window, and because they got mad at me that I wasn't, honking them on because they see the first colored person. There's not a lot of, Nocatee, Florida is just a ton of white folks. It's the Truman Show. And, I was working in that area, because with what I do, I cater to the wealthy, but they see me go by and I'm not white. So they thought I was going to go crazy and honk for them. But I was pissed off because I'm who the hell are you even protesting for? What do you know about being black? Nothing. I rolled my window down. I'm what do you know about being black? I was nothing. You aren't. I said, I'm not going to, you're ridiculous. You're signaling to each other your virtues that are fake, because if they were real, you would be down in Moncrief on the west side and all the other, ghettos and government housing and place where there are people that are actually poor and dealing with crime, because where there is poverty, there is crime. You would be down there protesting so that those police officers could see you. And you would be lock arm with the black people over there, but you're not. If you want to go there, I'll go with you and do it. Sure, I have no problem for it. He's a piece of shit, but sure. I can see on the video he clearly murdered him. I'll go down there with you if you want to go down to Moncrief, but I bet you don't. Exactly. So it's just kind of funny seeing this video start. And this protest is happening where? In front of a Whole Foods. In a very nice neighborhood where everybody's just enjoying their day, getting their lattes, Starbucks, sitting outside with their fucking dogs and their pup cup, with their shopping bags, and then going to the bar at 11 o'clock, next to Prime Shopping, getting all liquored up and then spending too much money in the mall, coming home, before the kids get home, but you're fucked up with your wine cup and your Xanax that your doctor husband has to give you because he's never home, and you're miserable because he's never home, and yeah, that's where you see these protests. You never see it in communities that are that are impoverished. Okay, I don't like saying underprivileged. They're impoverished. You don't ever see this shit going down. You don't see anything burning down there because they fucking can't afford to do that. They go and these same white folks go and burn down their rich white folks' friends' businesses. Make it make sense. Anyway, play the video.
Are you going to say no comment to everything?
Yep.
Yep. Bro, they're paying you $80K a year to protest? Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Tell me if it's wrong.
No comment.
David Chung is the general manager of a protest group called the People's Forum, and if you dig through their tax documents, you'll find that David Chung gets paid $75,000 a year to protest. Now, you're funding this behavior because this is David getting arrested at these protests. Now, the police do their job, but very quickly he's let out and back on the street to protest. Now, I'm sure the police are no fans of David, and David is no fan of the police. Here you can see David Chung modeling a shirt idolizing Assata Shakur, who is an activist who murdered a police officer before seeking exile in Cuba. The People's Forum, the company that he works for, is the main organizer for
Interesting she chose Cuba. That's where you want to go to not Mexico? Do you want to go to... Oh, that's true. Producer Ryan just brought up a good point. The Cold War embargo. Okay, got it. And there's no extradition. There was no extradition, but Mexico had extradition. So, okay. So, right. Okay. All right. I get it.
Anti-Israel and anti-America protests here in New York. They send announcements for protests consistently throughout the week and even delete comments that don't fit their narrative. Here you can see someone write "bring them home," and within minutes, that comment is deleted.
It's happened to me.
David Chung also has a leadership role at Rise and Resist, another company we've exposed for funding protests. The Karen Kazoo lady that I exposed was representing Rise and Resist, and they use Act Blue to raise money for their protests.
I'm representing the folks at Rise and Resist who have been...
Do you guys recognize her face? I hope it makes sense now. You've all seen her face many times. She is very, very, very aggressive, very vocal. She gets in people's faces. Start paying attention. It's the same people. They freaking travel everywhere, and they're professionals.
Okay, so Rise and Resist.
You can see that they team up with the People's Forum often, and you can ask David any questions about protesting. Now, the People's Forum is funded by Roy Neville Singham, a billionaire Marxist living in China who is trying to destroy America from within.
Singham?
Yes, a billionaire Marxist. You heard that correctly.
Is that?
The House
Where
Oversight
is that
Committee
from,
right now is looking into Neville Singham, stating
Sounds
that
like,
the People's Forum, a Manhattan-based nonprofit which has ties to the CCP through funding from
So it's
you.
tied to
now,
the
David Chung and Manolo
how do you
DeSantos,
rewind
the
a little
director of
bit?
the People's Forum, both serve in top positions at the Singham's Justice and Education
Funded by
Fund,
the CCP.
which further shows their strong ties to this Marxist who's slowly trying to destroy America. More on that later.
And how about meeting Rashida Tlaib? What was that like?
No comment.
David eventually stopped saying no comment, but there's a 3-minute limit on Instagram, so follow to see the next part of the confrontation.
Bro, they're paying you $80K a year to protest?
So I pulled this video for you guys because the tax documents are pulled up. Like he's a really good Nate Friedman. He backs everything up with receipts, so he's a great person to follow. Like, it doesn't really matter if you're left or right. I think it's just important to know where your dollars are going. Let's move on. You guys heard on have you heard of white versus white? Did you know it was a thing? I bet you didn't know it was a thing. And I love this lady. I only seen the first few minutes. Yeah, white conservatives versus white liberals. I've only seen the first 20 seconds, maybe 10 seconds of this video.
Between white liberals and white conservatives. The white liberal has, white guilt. Mm-hmm. They live in the past, and they want black people to stay in the past. Oh, you poor slaves. We remember when we were whipping you on the plantation, and we have so much guilt now. We want to help you now. We want to give you welfare. No. Black people don't go get jobs. No, how dare you? Exactly. Why would you? We want to fight for your right to be in poverty for the rest of your lives.
Yes.
We know that you're
We don't want you to take our jobs from us. See, we see how badass you blacks are. We're so threatened by you. You guys fucking take everything. The sports, the fashion, the music. You're better at everything than us. No, we don't want you to have jobs. We want you to rely on us. We'll just provide everything for you, and then we'll just keep fighting for you, because you can't do it for yourself.
Kids don't know how to use computers, none of them. And as a result, none of y'all know how to get driver's license so that you can vote.
I closed it again because you can't read at a great level.
I'm learning that there's a big difference between white liberals and white conservatives.
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
The white liberal has, white guilt. They live in the past, and they want black people to stay in the past.
Mm-hmm. They want you black poor people slaves. To stay thinking
we remember when
segregated.
We were whipping you on the plantation, and we have so much guilt now. We want to help you now. Mm-hmm. We want to give you welfare. No. Black people don't go get jobs. Right. No, how dare you? Why would you? We want to fight for your right to be in poverty for the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
We know that your kids don't know how to use computers, none of them. And as a result, none of y'all know how to get driver's license so that you can vote. Yeah, white liberals are stuck in the past and have white guilt, and that's how they interact
They're
with the
incredibly
black community
racist, white liberals.
From that mindset.
Every time I have... Oh my God, my cousin would piss me off. The one that everyone thinks is my twin. She's fucking such a racist. She's freaking always talking about how much white people are racist, and I'm just yeah, because you are around white liberals. They all think we are stupid and incapable, and they want us to keep believing that, so we keep on segregating ourselves and staying scared of the white man.
Conservatives don't want to live in the past.
That's
period.
Right.
They want everybody.
Conservatives, as she says, fought to free the slaves, which is why I fly my Confederate flag right next to my American flag, because it's important to me, the lives that were lost to free the slaves. And if that were proven to be a hoax too, even though I don't think it is, been tried to be proven to be a hoax, but it's not. But let's just pretend and say it is. Well, I'm demonstrating my forgiveness because I was born in the Appalachia and the South is my roots, and I'm damn proud of it. And I'm proud of all of it because how wonderful that this is the best place in the world to be black. This is the best time to be black. In fact, when Biden was in office, you guys got so much free shit, and you got jobs you didn't qualify for. What, isn't that awesome? Now that Trump's in office, you get jobs you do qualify for. You get to get hired because of how smart you are. Right? Now that Trump's in office, you get to enact and use your freedoms even more now. Because you have free agency as a black person in America. You have free agency. What a time to be alive. What a time to be black in America. It's the best time to be black. It's right now.
To get over it so that we can all move on and have a better future. They do not see you're black, you're gay, you're this, you're that. They see you are an American.
Yes, baby.
You are an American citizen.
Go, mama.
Which means that we are the same.
Yes.
And that we should unite for what is right.
I love her.
Big difference.
It's the thing they're afraid of, folks, is whites and blacks actually realizing, yo, we're two of the dopest races on the entire planet. I'm not trying to be like bad to other races. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of qualities about both cultures that, like, if we came together as just Americans, would be freaking dope. And you see it all the time because, like I said, the best time to be black in America is now. You have a president who is making it possible for you to become wealthy, not held down like Biden, freaking wanting the government to be daddy, incentivizing you to have broken homes, incentivizing crime by rewarding it so you guys can keep murdering each other. No, you have Trump going in. Actually, the first places he went with the National Guard were in black communities. And we don't need to get on the tangent of why. We know statistics. But the point is, he's not ignoring the communities that need the most help. They just happen to be black. We know why. And he's not even faulting anyone for it because he knows exactly why it's happened. He understands the program that was ran on us as Americans, as black Americans. I know most of you guys think I'm Hispanic, especially with a name like Luna Lopez, but my first name is spiritual. My last name is by marriage. I am not a drop Hispanic. I am white, black, and Asian. And I have like very strong opinions on this because I think Donald Trump is awesome when it comes to cultural stuff. That dude at a party is literally like he loves the black culture. He loves the black churches. He loves so much about the black culture. But my point is that he wants everybody to be able to use their free agency to, you get to be competitive. If you want to become richer than Elon Musk, you get to do that. If you want to challenge the system, you get to do that. Like, you have free agency. You are not a slave. You have free agency. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And you can go, you have free agency to be a racist. You have free agency to be unconditionally loving. What a time to freaking be alive. Speaking of Biden, let's talk about Biden's toddler hotline. You want to know about this crazy shit? Check this out.
So you're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with. And you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids? One staffer?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
No.
She
Maybe
doesn't
that's
know
why
what
there
to
were
do. She's caught.
65,000 calls
She's just
that
like,
weren't answered from these little kids, huh? Unbelievable. So you're telling this
Someone
committee
in the comments
that
of
the
this
Biden-
video says she smiles at that. Yeah, that's called nervousness, because you, at this point, you can't lie. She's telling the truth, folks. I applaud her. I'm not looking for a way to criticize her. Is she for real? She's half smiling, being asked very serious questions. Guys, I'm a nervous laugher because I prefer comedy. Honestly, my personality is prone for comedy because of my West Indian, contribution. Like, we're some clowns. And here I get all my rage issues from, like, my Pictish side. If you don't know what Pictish is, it's specifically Scandinavian mixed with the Scottish. It's the ones with the blue war paint. So you can Google that if you want to. But, what you see here was just the obligatory hotline set up just to say he did something. And they didn't even have anybody there to answer the calls. So could you imagine being a child that just got trafficked across countries? You don't know where the hell you are. You have families who are being paid to take you and parading you around for their virtue signaling, okay? And you're calling this hotline. They probably had 65,000 because of the constant calling. And you got one person answering the phone. One person. Biden's administration is run by Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, that group I'm talking about. They hate America. It's just, look, here's another bucket, another puzzle piece to add to the bigger picture. Dropping the bucket is what I was trying to say. But yes, that was what was going on. This hotline that they had for these trafficked kids, they had one person answering the phone. Oh, they cared so much about the immigrant. They cared so much. They sold it to you hard, yet they had 65,000 unanswered calls from children being abused in our foster care system. Children who were trafficked into our country. That is a short preview of what it will be like on a 24/7 basis if the Marxists and the Islamists take over. Let's go to the next one. Trump reminds us Charlie Kirk was spitting bars against Islamic takeover for a hot minute. This is a long video. I want y'all to stick through it. It's really good. Charlie is incredibly intelligent. As a psychologist, there are things I notice. He's on the spectrum. Challenge me if you personally know that I'm wrong. Challenge me, please. Because I can watch an hour video, any given video with Charlie, and I can tell you that man is on the spectrum, and I can give you the reasons why. But that's not a knock to him. He is incredibly smart, which is why they shot him. His threat was his power to use his intelligence, his mental intelligence, and transform it into emotional intelligence. And when you can connect with people emotionally, that's dangerous. So and some of the things that Charlie says at first can sound like very blunt and abrupt, which I can relate to because I'm also neurodivergent. But you just gotta stay with me, bro. Just listen, because truth can hurt sometimes, but truth is always a representation of love. Truth is the utmost honor you can give someone. It's up to them to have the emotional intelligence to process painful truth. And I love that Charlie spoke the truth, knowing that it was a risk, because any human being knows when they're hearing the truth, because it just hits different. It feels different on all cylinders, and it doesn't have that thread of contradiction woven through it. And you just know it in your gut. The part of you that's connected, your instincts, you just feel it in your gut. When lies are happening, your head and your heart are in conflict. That's why the Bible says the heart is treacherous. Who can know it? Then you got the parental ego that's up here in the brain. You know, the you, the id, right? That's in the heart. The ego is in the head. And the super ego, well, it's all in the brain, but I'm trying to get you to relate to the body systems that actually engage with your emotions. The super ego, the parental voice, is in the gut, sometimes in the heart. But our brain can play funny games because our brain is designed to filter data, and it puts up filters and protects your heart against what can break it for you. And we can get into a tumultuous argument between the two. So, when you know you're hearing truth, you feel it different. It hits different. It hits in that gut space, that instinctual space, that space where spirit is, where the Holy Spirit talks to you. You can sometimes, and a lot of women will know what I'm talking about, sometimes feel it literally in your bones. You'll get like tingling in your bones, starts in your gut and then spreads out. Yeah, that's instinct. That's God. That's Holy Spirit. That is millennia of quantum physics and mathematics working at its finest. That's ancestor memories. So when you listen to this long 4-minute video, just like drop your like nervousness to like, if you're conservative and not religious, I get it. I'm your favorite Christian witch, man. But just kind of drop the religious stuff and just kind of look at it as more history, and understand that even if it's all fake, right, there's something called hypocrisy. There's something called contradiction, right? So let's get into the video.
The type of country that we want to live in. I want to live in a type of country where you don't have to lock your doors at night. A type of country where church attendance is going up. A type of country where people are going to get married and have children. A type of country where we are not going to have a Muslim Marxist mayor of New York City. There's something wrong with that, everybody. Now, this is where people say, Charlie, you can't say that. Let me repeat it for whatever stenographer for the media. There's something wrong when you have a Muslim Marxist mayor of New York City, our greatest city. There's something wrong with that. In fact, we don't talk enough about Islam. There is a red-green axis that is trying to suffocate this country. We talk a lot about the red, which is...
Whoa, sorry. We don't talk a lot about Islam. I was just telling my roommate that that's the religion I kind of know the least about, and I really need to know more about it. I know a lot about it, but in terms of how it applies to the West and how it's relevant to our era, I really, I spent so much time breaking down the cult of Christianity and like helping people separate out what truly was Jesus' message versus what's the adulterated version by government. I just came to realize myself that I don't know enough about Islam, and I should know, because that is also part of biblical history. Because from what I'm told is that Islam actually considers Jesus in some of its teachings. So it's very important for me to go down that road of discovery, and I should probably add a video series for, Islam and the Quran, and I guess Sharia, I don't know how to say that, Sharia law or something, but we should probably add that in there too. But we are kind of focused on getting this show off the ground and getting a good format, and I'll get back to those spiritual readings. I'm so hot, y'all. Okay, let me go ahead and play the video.
Is the Marxist. But we don't talk nearly enough about the Islamist. We don't talk nearly enough about the hundreds of thousands of Muslims that we have voluntarily imported into our country that build mosques, implement Sharia law. They court. I don't know if you guys have this problem in South Carolina or not, but thankfully no. But you go to Minneapolis, you even go to Dallas, you go to New York, and it will metastasize. It will spread. You know why? Because the women of the West, they get caps.
Hey, Fabian. Okay, I thought someone was downstairs.
The women of Muslims, they have 8 kids. Eventually, it doesn't work very well. It's just a bunch of math. The women of the West have abortions. The women of Muslims, they have entire communities they can fill. When you import one, you get 32, 10 years later, chain migration, all this nonsense. People say, but Charlie, don't you understand that the immigrants make our country better? Hold on a second. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. When someone is a practicing Muslim in this country, 5 times a day they are praying to another land. Imagine what that does to you. Literally, in Islam, you are pointing yourself to another nation. You're not pointing yourself to this nation. You're pointing yourself to Saudi Arabia and Mecca 5 times a day. One of the 5 pillars of Islam is to leave America and go do a Hajj into Saudi Arabia. We as Americans are being played as suckers as we import hundreds of thousands of people that do not assimilate, take our government benefits, infiltrate, spy, and metastasize. And President Donald Trump has a once-in-a-100-year opportunity to say no more, and you're all going home. We're going to take this country back and restore it once and for all. And some people will say, well, Charlie, that is hateful. That is loving to the nation. Do you know what's hateful? They're being hateful because they actually don't love America. We're simply calling out their hate, and we're meeting their hate with a nice one-way ticket back to Mogadishu.
Boom. Hey, Ryan. I think Noxie has to go out. The last time he went out to pee was before the storm. Okay, yeah. He's moving a lot. I can hear him. Okay, guys. Sorry I had to pause to take care of my puppy. We're potty training some puppies. So, eek. My bad.
And let's talk about what the Bible says. Every time immigration comes up in the Bible, assimilation comes right alongside of it. You must learn the customs. You must learn the language. In the later book of Deuteronomy, Moses' farewell.
Side note, this is why it's not okay to skip the line coming into the country. You have to learn the language of the land. You have to learn what is socially acceptable, what is not. You have to learn the Constitution. You have to learn what laws, because if you break one, the court is not going to accept, I didn't know. No, you have to know our Pledge of Allegiance because you're becoming a citizen. So you should be pledging allegiance to this country because our tax dollars are going to each other. So you better pledge your allegiance. When you say that Pledge of Allegiance, listen, folks, I know the government sucks right now, but when you say that Pledge of Allegiance and you sing that national anthem, forget the government and their agenda. This is about an oath and a promise to each other as neighbors. That is what that is about. And that's what nationalism is actually about. It's not about going to other countries and pissing on them. That's not what nationalism is. Nationalism is love a fucking neighbor, just like Jesus said. That's why our Constitution is based in Christian theology, because of love thy neighbor. But that's what nationalism is. When you pledge allegiance to our flag, your flag represents your neighbor who's lived next to you for 15 years, your school teacher who's been there for 30 years and taught you, and also your kid. It is the librarian. It is the bagger at the grocery store. That flag represents us, each other. And like I was saying in the video about the black and the white versus white, and the liberals versus conservative, like their biggest fucking fear is that the citizens actually form that militia. It'll never happen as a whole if we are fighting each other. See, we're Americans. We got the spirit of fight in us. We were the rejects. We were the prisoners. We were the ones nobility didn't want anymore. All right, and disguise it in a little nice package of, well, why don't you go over to this country and populate it over there? Right? like, we have a spirit in us that is ungovernable, and we see it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because we're all fighting for the same thing, just cloaked in different words. We want unity so bad. And they've got us looking at each other. Since we have a spirit to fight for what we believe in, they have to direct us to fight it on each other so they can continue being vampires sucking the life out of you. So, this stuff Charlie Kirk is saying, he's talking about two things. One, there's radical Islam. We all know what that is, and there's not a lot of people that appreciate that. But the other thing is, we're a country found on Christian values, who, because of Christian values, welcomely accepted immigrants. Yet these immigrants want to take away the Christian values and change our country. It's kind of like the natural order of things. You know, just like all the immigrants that got dumped on us by other countries that were prisoners and psychiatric patients and the deplorables of their country who were kidnapping kids along the way because most of them are fucking pedophiles and no one wants to tolerate that anywhere except for a few choice places. See, when it sounds familiar, right? Like when we got here and the natives were like, who the fuck are these people? Just coming here to our land trying to change our religion? Hey, it's happening again. You can call it karma, you can call it whatever, but the fact is, our way of life is coveted. Our way of life was taking over the planet. And now they're trying to have their time. They're trying to come here and conquer. You know? But just because we did it doesn't mean we have to take it. Who cares? This is our grandchildren we have to worry about.
Address. He says, be careful who you allow into the nation of Israel, because the foreigner can soon become your master. Boy, Zohran Mamdani becomes the mayor of New York City. What is the type of country that we want to live in? I want to live in a type of country where you don't have to lock your doors at night. A type of country where church attendance is going up. A type of country where people are going to get married and have children. A type of country where we are not going to have a Muslim Marxist mayor of New York City. There's something wrong with that, everybody. Now, this is where people say, Charlie, you can't say that. Let me repeat it for whatever stenographer for the media. There's something wrong when you have a Muslim Marxist mayor of New York City, our greatest city. There's something wrong with that. In fact, we don't talk enough about Islam. There is a red-green axis that is trying to suffocate this country. We talk a lot about the red, which is the Marxist. But we don't talk nearly enough about the Islamist. We don't talk nearly enough about the hundreds of thousands of Muslims that we have voluntarily imported into our country that build mosques, implement Sharia law. They court. I don't know if you guys have this problem in South Carolina or not, but it's thankfully no. But you go to Minneapolis, you even go to Dallas, you go to New York, and it will metastasize. It will spread. You know why? Because the women of the West, they get cats. The women of Muslims, they have 8 kids. Eventually, it doesn't work very well. It's just a bunch of math. The women of the West have abortions. The women of Muslims, they have entire communities they can fill. When you import one, you get 32, 10 years later, chain migration, all this nonsense. People say, but Charlie, don't you understand that the immigrants make our country better? Hold on a second. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. When someone is a practicing Muslim in this country, 5 times a day they are praying to another land. Imagine what that does to you. Literally, in Islam, you are pointing yourself to another nation. You're not pointing yourself to this nation. You're pointing yourself to Saudi Arabia and Mecca 5 times a day. One of the 5 pillars of Islam.
And every time they pray to their gods, they're giving their God energy. Prayers are angel food. They have to answer your prayers. Just like fear is demon food. They have to respond to it. It's a law of physics. They can't not. So listen closely.
Islam is to leave America and go do a Hajj into Saudi Arabia. We as Americans are being played as suckers as we import hundreds of thousands of people that do not assimilate, take our government benefits, infiltrate, spy, and metastasize. And President Donald Trump has a once-in-a-100-year opportunity to say no more, and you're all going home. We're going to take this country back and restore it once and for all.
It makes me want
And
tears
some
come
people
up
will
in
say,
my eyes.
well, Charlie, that is hateful. That is loving to the nation. Do you know what's hateful? They're being hateful because they actually don't love America.
What a point. Oh, Charlie, that's hateful. No, it's loving because I love my people.
We're simply calling out their hate, and we're meeting their hate with a nice one-way ticket back to Mogadishu.
Bye.
And let's talk about what the Bible says. Every time immigration comes up in the Bible, assimilation comes right alongside of it. You must learn the customs. You must learn the language. In the later book of Deuteronomy, Moses' farewell address, he says, be careful who you allow into the nation of Israel.
I know.
Because the foreigner can soon become your master. Boy, Zohran Mamdani becomes the mayor of New York City. What is the type of country?
What a gem. What a gem. You had to listen to him speak to understand it because it's hard to explain what it was about him. I have a friend who's he's originally from Arkansas, became a young adult in California and stayed there for a while. Older black dude. I love this man to pieces. He moved back to Arkansas. Him and I don't agree on everything, but we do have the concept of love. And he texts me. He's like, I'm trying to understand this Charlie Kirk thing. And I'm like, realizing all this time later, I haven't called him back because I'm like trying to mull it over. Like, I can't find the words because you just have to really, instead of listening to the propaganda about him, listen to him and just be patient, because watching how he ties together so many things in the world to his faith is what people love. You don't have to be a Christian to love that about him, because it's a thing of beauty to see someone truly live how they believe. And Charlie truly did love people. And sometimes love produces violence. Sometimes love, it doesn't mean that it's okay. It's just that I think we've gotten confused on like what it means to turn the other cheek, what it means to be accepting. It's less loving to allow someone to live a lie and placate and enable their addiction to whatever it is than to be truthful and to set boundaries and to let them know that it's not them you disagree with, it's just their viewpoint, right? Because like we can disagree with people and still love them, but Charlie was about what is good, not what is lawful. And when I say lawful, the word righteous means what is lawful. Okay, you can live a righteous person to God's law and to the law of Caesar. But Jesus was trying to demonstrate that the law of love surpasses the law of the land, right? So if you are dying for what you believe in, if it is because of what is good in the greater picture, that's a different thing, and that's between you and God. But you know when you're on the right path. You do. You don't feel that angsty feeling that you see from Gen Z right now. Gen Z, the poor things. I really, my heart goes out to Gen Z because they were in middle school when COVID happened, and it really did a number on their psychological health. My oldest daughter included. And what they aren't able to see is that when you're full of piss and vinegar while you're fighting, if you've got this, you know what I'm talking about. It's not feeling, there's a holy feeling, like when you are out in public and you see someone being abused and you step in and save them. You are engaging in violence, yes, but you feel confident because you know between you and God, you were called by God in that very moment to save this person. I know what that feels like. And I also know what selfish violence is. And you feel the difference in that. It's pissy and sour.
Country that we want to live in. I want to live in a type of country where you don't have to lock your doors at night. A type of country where church attendance is going up. A type of country where people are going to get married and have children. A type of country where we are not going to have a Muslim Marxist mayor of New York City. There's something wrong with that.
So, all right, that's about the point where I let it replay. So I told you we are going to break that down later, and so I'm going to take you through some videos, but I'm going to walk you through it so about this Islamic takeover, this Marxist takeover, okay? So before we can get into Mamdani, I want to show you George Soros just being, going typical, doing shitty George Soros things. George Soros going typical shitty George Soros things. I always do that. I don't know why I do that. All right, go ahead. Oh, right. Okay, this is the video. All right, so this is something I want to read you guys. Okay, so I follow this chick. She's pretty credible. Anyway, she posted this. This is by I am learning the ropes of journalism, folks, so I have to cite her, but lady.maga.1. She's got a strong following. Anyway, George Soros quietly gave $37 million to groups backing Mamdani's New York mayoral bid. Remember earlier about the protesters being paid? When you start following that rabbit hole of public record, George Soros is paying. He is an incredibly wealthy man. He's paying for those. George Soros, who I'm going to hashtag in this video, because honestly, I don't understand how someone so old and decrepit has so much power. He's Greek. Isn't that funny? Interesting. Greek culture is really interesting, isn't it? And they like little boys. Ugh. Makes my blood boil. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic. I'm telling you, there's so many things we could talk about and tangents we can go on and proof and all this stuff, but I'm trying to stay on topic. So, George Soros, remember that with the paid this and that. Okay. So, the $37 million to groups backing Mamdani's mayoral bid. This is a guy that's, we all know by now. If you don't know, just Google it, okay? He is the Working Families Party and 9 other progressive organizations that have supported Mamdani all receive substantial support from Soros-aligned nonprofits, while Mamdani campaigns against wealth and billionaires. Critics say he is benefiting from the very system he denounces. So, boom. First lie, right? First lie. He's telling you that he is against wealth and billionaires. This man is lying to you because he has been given $37 million by George Soros, who also here in Jacksonville took my good friend off the college radios because he bought every single one of the fucking radio stations and kicked off all of the conservatives. This man is disgusting. Oh, Mamdani was a rapper before he ran for mayor. That's why the line is about, what is it? There was a line in here. Oh, no, spin bars. That was a different joke. Anyway, let's go to the freaking next one. I think this is a video. I want you to watch Mamdani in his total natural self, where he's completely not regulating and being a politician. So we're going to watch Mamdani says, hold me back, bro. Cash me outside. How about it?
You don't have to like Cuomo. You don't have to like Adams. You don't have to like Sliwa. You don't have to like anybody that you're voting for mayor this upcoming election.
I know I was blabbing over this for these people. Let me just go.
How many more New Yorkers not charged? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers will charge that target?
You don't have to like Cuomo.
What did he say?
You don't have to like Adams.
Yeah. Can you turn the volume just a little bit? No? It's...
How many more New Yorkers not charged? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers will charge that target?
You don't have to like Cuomo. You don't have to like Adams.
If he said you're lucky he's holding me back, did you see the cop though? Look, the cop is not even using any force. Holding you back from what? His shoulder's really doing a good job keeping you back, dude. You're not even doing anything. You're lucky he's holding me back. If that was me, y'all know, if that was me saying that sentence, the cop would literally be trying to freaking restrain me and probably standing on me, because I turn into a banshee because I don't fucking fake anything. But anyway, this is not him fucking faking anything. He's just literally a soft little boy.
You don't have to like Sliwa. You don't have to like anybody that you're voting for mayor this upcoming election. In 52 days, people are going to have a choice in New York City. We are fresh off of a murder of Charlie Kirk. You know the left likes violence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is their cheerleader. Look at this scumbag and look what he's doing. Now, this video is a few months old.
But he's a bitch because he's going to have all the college kids go do that for him. He's doing this on camera. You're lucky you're holding me back, if that's even what he said. But he's not even dude, a real alpha man isn't talking. They're fucking punching. They're hitting faces. They're moving bodies. That's what warriors do. They don't talk. That's what women do. They lean over the cops screaming like this. That's what women do. While the cops got her up by the waist and she's like a cat, which is great. I love that about women. Honestly, women got a fire in them, men don't have. It's a different kind. But men, we will fuck you up in the head. All that banshee shit you see, we may not scratch you, but we will definitely leave you walking away questioning your entire life. But men, a real man that's really fucking fighting for what's right in America, the real men that I know, a man named John Mellis, look him up, Patriot Wildman on Instagram, who was protecting Roseanne Boylan, who nobody talks about, who was brutally murdered on the steps of the Capitol, she was an overweight woman who literally couldn't outrun. She didn't really have a chance to fight. The woman is down on the ground being stomped on. Okay. We hear Trump talk about Ashley Babbitt all the time, and that was a tragedy. And I am so sorry for Ashley Babbitt's family. But Roseanne Boylan, if your family hears this video, I am so sorry that her death has not gotten the attention that it deserves, because she was brutally beaten on the steps by dirty cops funded by Soros and this agenda that this woman is talking about. This Mamdani is, she said, their mascot. So he is going and getting loud in these people's faces and not being a real man. And how I brought up Roseanne Boylan is because my friend came to her rescue with him and his boys to tell the police, stop it, you're killing her. And my friend ended up in the DC gulag, tortured till Trump pardoned him. Tortured to stay silent because he knew the truth about Roseanne Boylan. And that is why John Mellis will not stop talking about Roseanne Boylan. And I thank John Mellis for that, because he didn't know Roseanne Boylan. But what he did know was that the government was silencing what they did to that woman, which tells you everything you need to know. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter before he became MAGA. And I could see why. There's a lot of things Bernie says outside of the, like, I don't want to be a socialist communist, but, like, Bernie lives what he really feels, and he really does do what my husband brought up a great point earlier tonight before the show. We were getting ready. Bernie actually did stand with blacks, like different than the women I told you about earlier in the video that were protesting in front of nothing, in front of their privileged white friends. Bernie was with the black folks getting hosed and sprayed. Okay, so that's the kind of man that John Mellis is, and so it's understandable that he would have jumped in to save Roseanne Boylan from the police, but he got punished by the George Soros cronies. And these people, these prison guards, actually you can go to John Mellis's website. It's called wearegoodmen.com. There was, whenever they had the vigils for J6, these poor freaking J6 prisoners were made to walk naked down a hallway between two rows on either side of the hallway of prison guards while they were shamed, while the vigil was going on outside the jail for them. That's what you fucking ignorant Gen Zers are fucking voting for. Any of you fucking white kids that grew up privileged need to freaking go back the fuck home, have an honest conversation with your parents, say I'm sorry, and listen to your parents who have lived in this country for however old your parents are before all of this started. Because there is a spirit of evil that is taking over. And the only thing you can disagree with your parents on a lot, every generation does. That's what makes it keep getting better. So I applaud you for having the freaking gumption to care so deeply for humans as a race. But you guys don't understand that everything has an extreme and everything needs balance. Because in your crusade, you are harming your future children. Because you are about to subject them. You are being used as little tools to propagate the next wave of slavery that is about to happen. And that is why you see the strong opinions coming out about everything. You Gen Zers, your parents, your grandparents are in heartbreak. We knew all the financial stuff was coming. We knew the religious stuff was coming, but what we didn't see coming was the push to normalize pedophilia and being a transvestite or a transgender was going to be used as part of it to normalize sexual abuse on children by a country that wants to take over ours, whose holy book says it's okay for them to have sex with any goyim starting at the age of 3. Wake up, my babies. Truth hurts sometimes. But when it hurts, that's when you know you're being loved on the hardest. If we didn't care, we'd let you be stupid. We'd let you hurt yourselves. But we can't go to bed at night and be okay with ourselves knowing we didn't speak. Let's play the video.
But look at this political theater. You think that comes from the emotions of a man that just got here in 2018? This is political theater. This is what the Democrats do. This is who they are. This is what the left is. They are full of it. And the only people that are going to follow him are the deranged lunatics. The ones that belong in mental hospitals. The ones that are no longer inside of those mental hospitals.
What's up, XLRG bullies?
Just a second, honey.
Good to see you.
Do not under any circumstance think that your vote will not be split. We have half of New York that actually thinks that this kind of behavior is appropriate, and we have the sane half.
22% of New York is Muslim.
And no matter what your differences are, you need to band together
Mhm.
and need to vote for one candidate against this garbage.
Yep.
This is garbage. And he's showing you exactly who he is.
I don't even care what party the other candidate is for. He won the fucking primary. But I don't even if they're not America first, fuck them. Forget it. This is not Democrat, not Republican. This is America. It's falling through our fingers. America first. That means your neighbor, your auntie, your school teacher, your trash guy. You guys get mad when your trash guy don't show up. You freaking need to appreciate him. You know what? Sometimes when I can catch him, I go give them water. Because I love our life. It's going away. Do you want to cover your hair? Do you want to cover your blue and purple hair? Do you want your piercings to be, do you want only your eyes showing? Do you want to be, what you are inviting, you will be hung for. What you don't understand is you are this Islamic takeover, all you freaking kids that are fighting for that plus the trans thing, you will be murdered for it. What's crazy is all these trans kids are Marxists, and if they lived in a country that was Marxist, they would be put to death for homosexuality. So start being fucking grateful that you're in America, in a place where we have to fucking tolerate your insanity, and the best we can do is talk you off the suicidal ledge. Because we care. Be thankful that that's what we're doing. Because if you lived in the Middle East, you would be murdered.
These leftists have never been silent about that. Neither have these extreme Islamists. They have never been silent. They're telling you to your face who they are.
Yes.
He is telling you in this video what he represents. Chaos, anger, madness, and destruction.
This is a Middle Eastern woman, which is why I wanted this video played. Because I don't like putting people up on my channel that don't have the credibility to say what they're saying. So I'm going to go to the freaking source.
You make sure you're registered to vote, and I want every single New Yorker to turn up. This is not a game, folks. This is not okay. This is not okay. It's not about policies anymore. It's not about COVID anymore and what Cuomo did or didn't do.
Yeah.
Shit got real.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. She's pleading. Pleading. You know why she's pleading with Americans? Because she left the Middle East to get away from that shit. Any_shoes_Miami says, my producer just pointed out, please, New York, wake up. I'm Cuban and this guy will destroy New York. Please. My husband is Cuban. My fucking daughter. Do you understand the heartbreak that's happened in my house? I'm more heartbroken my daughter is a Marxist. Have you listened to anything your Cuban father has said? Your grandmother's aunt died on a boat because of dehydration, because of nursing her baby in the ocean. To get the fuck away. She knew the risks. To get the hell away from hell. This is a spiritual war going on, folks. This is a spiritual battle. Get your head in the game. You don't have to believe in God to understand spiritual matters, because spirit is the English word for psyche, which is the Greek word for spirit, and it is our English Latin root word for psychology. Spirit is tied to the human existence, and you need to start plugging into it. Plug into it. That's why we're dysfunctional. You're ignoring your connection to nature. You're ignoring it. It's wrong. You are entitled to safety. You are entitled to, like, seriously, women, where are the women mad about this? Like, you think I'm about to go cover up in a burqa? You will see me dead. You will see me dead. And I'm going to take some out with me. No way. All right. Let's move to the next video, because as we have been discussing, New York's fucking cooked. I mean, if we haven't made this clear, you guys fucking literally got in your primary a fucking Islamist Marxist who is so proud of it. Oh my God, New York's cooked. Let's go. Where's the sound? Did they get, so look at this. New York is currently 22% Muslim, and the majority of them were not born in the USA. They immigrated here. This is what we're seeing. And if you don't understand yet, because I'm about to show you, after a few more Mamdani videos, why this is really bad. Because New York's getting all the press, but this has been going on under our nose a lot longer, and I'm going to prove it to you. Only thus is the page. It says, these are the people voting Mamdani. The liberals and Islamists are using each other to destroy America, and for two different reasons. Disclaimer, I condemn any and all acts of violence or hate. This video is for educational purposes strictly. This page is not intended to promote any sort of violence, hate, or harassment. I appreciate that disclaimer. Everyone's going to say that they're sitting here in prayer, and I do understand that is fine. That is okay. And that by itself is beautiful. That is not my problem. My problem is they've guilted you into wanting to preserve your culture because they knew they were coming to take over. When you have 22% of New York Muslim, your politics and your laws will change, I promise you. Those people are actually very wealthy. Let's go to the next video. Country dude takes on Mamdani.
Is anybody else paying attention to what's going on over in NYC right now, or is it just me? Because we're literally watching the fall of New York in real time, and people still just don't get it. Did you guys see the story about this guy who's likely to become New York City's new mayor in November? Because, I mean, this shit is absolutely fucking wild. And here's the thing I don't understand. Why the hell do we have people who weren't born in America calling the shots in our government? What sense does that make? You move here, and then you try to reshape the country into the exact kind of mess that you supposedly fled from. Bro, if your whole mission is to make America just like the place that...
That's like why I said, I haven't seen this video. I just, kind of go through, and make sure first few minutes, it's gonna, it's on topic, but I don't, I do really blind react to these. That's what I was just saying to you about the other video. This is a Middle Eastern woman telling you this. It means she has all the credibility in the world because she fled from it and she's terrified it's going to happen here. And it is. Remember, this has been a slow process. They took the Pledge of Allegiance out of the flag. They made being proud of your country a racist thing. They guilted you and beated you down so bad to reshape you for their takeover.
You left, then stay the fuck where you came from. We're not going to sugarcoat this anymore. This is bullshit. This isn't about skin color. This isn't about racism. This is about preserving the foundation of a country that already has its own identity. It already has its own values. It already has its own culture. And if you don't think that's under attack, look at this guy, Zoran Mamdani, the new Marxist lunatic who's probably going to be running NYC in November. The guy isn't even American born, and he's out here pushing radical left policies that'll turn New York into Venezuela with a whole lot more concrete. That's what it'll be like. He wants to gut police funding. He wants state-owned grocery stores. He wants rent freezes, which means that if you're paying a mortgage and you've got somebody in there paying rent, well, you don't get to collect that rent anymore.
At the end of my live, if you're still on right now, I know this tonight's going to be a long one. I'm going to tie all of this to the government shutdown. You guys need to be very worried about what's happening with this government shutdown, and all of you need to be calling your senators. And I am going to have my tablet brought to me, and we're going to fucking leave voicemails on some senators' phones tonight on live is what we're going to do. So for anybody that's watching now, if you stick with me, it's going to be a treat to watch. Let's see if anybody answers. I wonder, probably not. But I'm going to leave messages on live, and we're going to watch the results, because I'm going to keep you updated, because we all need to be calling these 4 fucktards. We're doing it.
Wants to add a new tax to white neighborhoods. If that's not racist, tell me what the fuck is.
My daughter needs to speak to me, yes. Oh, yes. It's the one I gave you. Yeah, I thought I kept it. You can go put it. But make sure you do the sections like I taught you and comb it through and then re-scrunch. But dry up a lot of that water with a towel. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're good. Just make sure you comb it through and then re-scrunch where you want it to be curly and poofy, okay? Aw. Sorry, baby. Love you. Good night. Okay, do them quietly. Okay, love you.
He wants to terminate private property ownership so you won't be able to own a home in New York City anymore. It's going to be a fucking dystopian nightmare. And people actually voted for this fucking guy. All while regular people can't even afford to pay for groceries. They can't walk down the street without stepping on fucking syringes.
Yep.
And they can't protect their families in public places like subways because the system has handcuffed the good guys. You think that's all by accident? It's not. You think it's compassionate? It's not. It's strategic. You bring in outsiders with outside values and then you hand them the keys to the kingdom. What do you expect? Before you know it, the country doesn't even look like America anymore. Yep. It looks like the failed state that they crawled out from. And yeah, somebody I'm sure is going to say, well, you know, the founding fathers weren't born here either. Right.
What in the
That
hell?
was 250 years ago.
Look at
okay?
man.
Before we had a constitution. Before we had our own culture. Before we had fucking anything. And let me point something else out to the people who say that our ancestors were immigrants too.
Boom!
Okay?
He's
Understand
going
this.
right where I
Our
went.
founding fathers were settlers. Not immigrants. There's a huge difference.
Settlers.
They created the foundation for everything that we have today. They
Thank
didn't just
you.
land on Plymouth Rock and start demanding free shit.
Thank
They
you,
created
my
the
brother.
culture that makes America what it is now. And now we're letting people who don't believe in it run the place.
Yep.
That's cultural suicide. So no, if you weren't born here and you don't fully believe in what this country stands for, you shouldn't be anywhere near our government.
He's
Period.
taking you to church,
Is anybody else
folks,
paying attention to what's
with
going
his
on over in
nipples
NYC right
and
now,
his
or is
white
it just me?
tight shirt.
Because
He took you to church, boy. Don't you love the South? Don't you just love the Southern charm? That's a Dallas man right there. That's a Western. It's a Southwestern man. Them Western men. They're different. They got a little edge. They could be ugly and they still sexy. Anyway, especially when they're smart. Especially when they're an actual man. Like, I like gender roles. It gives me stability and, like, something to anchor in and, like, keeps truth, like, something I can use as a barometer. Like, I like nature. The law of nature. It's perfectly fine. What the fuck are we doing fucking with it? I don't understand. Oh, we're playing God now? You can change genders? Shut the fuck up. Seriously. You want our species to just die out. Mass sterilization. Thank you. Fucking so great. While you come over here, that's what they're trying to do. The world, it's been an average of 200 years that every world power is like lost before us, and we're like pushing over that point. We're just now passing that point. We're hanging on for dear life, but they want what we got instead of just staying over there and making what they got great and making it something other people can come to and put their money in and say, wow, this is cool. This is amazing. Like, I love this Middle Eastern culture. They have museums. They let me understand it. They let me get, like, they don't want the integration. They want the takeover. And that's because of what I have read of Islamism is like, I've watched on live TV some of these rallies where they're like, it is our biblical or whatever their holy book's called duty to eradicate Christians. Like, you don't understand. And I have an ex-friend of mine. I say ex-friend of mine because I'm at a point in my life where, like, I've realized most people I thought were my friends at 40 years old, I'm realizing with maturity, those were just acquaintances. A lot of times they were just using me for something. But she's in the Air Force. And when Biden and everything happened with that surge and everything with immigration, she was like, they had an emergency meeting in the military, and she was just like, I can't tell you anything other than carry your gun everywhere you go for a long while. Everywhere you go. Get fluent with your guns. You need to do dry shooting. Don't have any rounds in it. But you practice pulling it from your hip or wherever you like to carry all day, every day, and pointing it at the target and pulling the trigger and getting really fluid and quick. Being fluent with your weapon so that you create muscle memory. So when you are in the heat of the moment and your heart rate is through the roof, your pupils are, pinholed as fuck. Your auditory is tunneled right onto the threat. Your heart rate makes your body feel different. See, this is why I need Jesus in my life. I'm going to open up to y'all a little bit. Why I need Jesus in my life is because I've got rage issues. All right? And I know that feeling. I get it in my freaking arms. My arms start to fucking tingle. They go fucking numb. They've got bubbles in it, and they're going numb ahead of the fight because my brain is not going to let my hands feel no pain because I got to get the job done. Anyway, that's what this is. We have to realize, like, this is what it's coming to. You need to get fluent. Because when you got that adrenaline going and you're like, whoa, yeah. You can't be thinking about, like, oh, is it racking it and all this shit. Like, you got to be comfortable enough to have it live. Have a round in the chamber. If you're going to do that, please have a purse built for that. Don't, if you're a lady, because junk in the purse can make a uh-oh happen. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. And it's only happened once. Actually, for me, it wasn't a purse. For me, it was a Derringer. I don't know if any of you guys know what a 22 Derringer is, but it's tiny little, like, hooker gun. It's your last resort gun. You stick it in your bra or your boot or your girdle, whatever. It's your last resort because this little thing, right? And mine can shoot the longer 22s and the shorter ones. But, it's an up close and personal thing because it's like a little firecracker and it's hard to hold. It's tiny and it's just, it's my pow pow. That's what I call it because I was showing it to my husband who's from Miami. He's, I grew up in the country, the hills. I'm used to guns. Like, just is what it is. We were expected. You had to know how to use guns. They were everywhere. That's why we didn't have a lot of accidental shootings and stuff like that. But I'm trying to show him, like, basically the basics of this gun and, like, how to do what you need to do with it. And there was a round in the chamber, and I was showing him how to, like, disengage the hammer, and my heart rate was up a little bit, so my palms were sweaty. Like, I'm a sweaty girl. And the hammer slipped out of my hands and then out of my thumb, and it just went pow. Oh my God. By God, that thing was pointed at the ceiling because muscle memory, I was keeping it away from our faces. But it was such muscle memory that I wasn't sure after it went off that nobody was dead. Because I didn't know, wasn't actively and consciously pointing it anywhere. But I now realize that is my fluency and my muscle memory. I had it pointed away, and then we just so this moment was just a very, very ugly learning moment. Our eyes were like this big, and it took us a second to realize we were fine. And then we breathed, And I was just like, oh my God. But I didn't fucking flip out because we quickly realized the round went into the ceiling. But I felt so bad for so many years about this that I just really looked at guns differently at that moment. I'd seen it happen to other people. In fact, if it didn't happen in my little immediate family home, I probably wouldn't have reacted as bad because, in normal circumstances for me to be around a gun, we're outside, and we're just a bunch of redneck, my white side, we're a bunch of redneck hillbillies, man. We don't even use like water goggles, but you gotta be fluent with your guns because the reality is crazy things happen when it's the heat of the moment. And, having guns is a responsibility because you can't harm. You have to understand that is a God moment. It's a God moment. It's you're carrying the ultimate, this is the peacemaker. It's one way or the other peace is happening. And it's the death dealer. So, you gotta have a real deep respect and sanctity for life to be a gun owner, because I hope I never have to use it on somebody. I never want to use my gun. I hope I die never, ever having to fire my gun at someone. I really, truly do. I could cry thinking about it. I really don't want to know what that's like. But I'm telling you, if it's you or my kid, or you or me, it's motherfucking you. Because I'm a good person and I don't fucking do shit that's wicked or evil. So if something like that happens around me, it's on you. And I will absolutely protect myself because I have daughters. And I will protect them at all costs. Period. And I will carry the burden of having taken a life if it means protecting my daughters. So my fucking warrior bloodline can go on. I'll be damned if they try to take my family out. No way. No way, no how. Okay, let's go to more Mamdani.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts,
What's up,
the term
Patrick
violent
Hart? Welcome.
crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree.
Look at that lady in the back with the red jacket.
When we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district...
This is my Blue Ridge. Damn. Okay, y'all know I got fibromyalgia. I've talked about that. This is for my glaucoma. No, so this is my Blue Ridge Extraction Strawberry Jam sample. My homie just walked in. Hybrid Happy. HHC plus Delta 8 THCP and CBD, basically CBN, THCA. Disposable vape pen. This is tasty and tastes nice and natural. And it's a nice smooth little ride, but it, those vapes. I don't like using the vapes. Oh, and it is veteran owned and made in America, folks. So you are not going to get any of the fucking garbage that India and China is trying to poison us with. So we know Pam Bondi. She went and made a raid for all of the fucking toxic vape products that come from China. And go her. But she allowed the American stuff because it's FDA regulated. And so it's lab tested. It's 100% natural, no pesticides, 100% hemp, USA grown, and non-GMO. So Nice little box too. It like, look at the box. So this is from my home state, and in fact this is kind of interesting that this is happening because I grew up in a place called Swanee, Georgia, all right, which was the start of the Trail of Tears for the Cherokee, on 6 acres, and my dad really wanted to live in the mountains, but when he moved to Georgia, he didn't quite have mountain money, so it took him a really long time to get there, and he just wanted to be able to die in the mountains, and they did get their mountain house in up in Blue Ridge in a place called Talking Rock, Georgia, and when he died of cancer, he was able to die at home just like he wanted, looking out the window over. Sorry, folks. Overlooking the Smoky Mountains. And I don't typically like vape products because they hurt my body, the vape THCs, and I didn't know what I was being handed by producer Ryan, but I just took it because smoking helps me with my pain, with my fibromyalgia. It helps me be nicer and kinder and enjoy life a little more. Thank you. And he showed me it's a little small company in Blue Ridge, Georgia. But the box is really cute. It's about $30. Look at the box. It's 2 grams, 1,000 milligrams. Good packaging. Really clear explanation of what's in it, broken down. Each part is broken down by milligram. So this is the real deal. They're not just making claims. It says just how to use the cart, basically. So, yeah. Blue Ridge Extractions. It's grown up in Georgia. Disposable vape pen, 2 grams. And it tastes nice, too. Doesn't taste like it has saccharin in it. All right, looking at the chat. I thought speech was violence. Apparently violence is a fabrication now. I know. Violence is nothing but a construct, you know. There's no way to prove it physically. There's no way to observe it and know what it is. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate the activity. I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree. Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling.
It's
so
not
violence
just
is an artificial
stealing
construction.
packages. This is like he's leaving out that this is robbery and burglary. That's a violent crime. He's freaking ew. And he looks like he's 12 with a beard, by the way. Urgh. Okay, let's go on to more Mamdani. Excuse me, ma'am.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
So no plans to change that language.
He's such a liar. Everybody.
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system. And
that his voter base does not understand like economics, American economics.
the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighborhood.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden.
So then explain to me why more crime happens in black neighborhoods then, Mr. Marxist. Explain that one to me. Because my black neighbor that lives next to me is taxed exactly the same as me. So if he's saying he wants to tax white people harder. Well, my father is white and my birth certificate says I'm white because back when I was born, in the era I was born, whatever your father was is what they put your race as. Because it's pretty fucking obvious when you come out the mom. But it's also, again, a science thing about how sperm and eggs work. But, that pisses me off, because then my neighbor, who has the exact same square footage house as me, who has 2 super nice cars as me, gets to get taxed less because he's not white. That's racism. Next, we're going to talk about how this plays into the fact this has been happening for a really long time. It's been happening under our noses while it distracted us from everything with fucking sexual issues. And man-made viruses. This has been happening since Obama. Watch this.
Mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, Muslim. Mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, Muslim. Mayor of Richardson, Texas, Muslim. Vice President of the Minneapolis City Council, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. New York City mayoral candidate, Muslim. Minneapolis mayor candidate, Muslim. Islam is the 3rd largest religion in the United. Around 6 to 8 million Muslims in U.S. 2,769 mosques were counted in the 2020 U.S. Mosque Survey. The number of mosques has nearly tripled since 2000. Around 300 Islamic schools in the U.S. About 30,000 Americans convert to Islam per year. In 2023, Muslims became the majority in...
You know what's funny too? I see a lot of white women converting to it. Have you noticed that? You know, they have a black husband. She getting beat at home. She ain't really converting to Muslim. She's getting beat. Same thing with them black Israelites. They're suspicious to me. You know what I mean?
Dearborn, making up approximately 55% of the city's 110,000 residents. Major urban centers, especially in New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Detroit, and Washington, D.C.
What did you notice about the list he just gave? Those are all the places with all the crime where the National Guard has to go and shit literally burning down to the ground. All liberal extremist run cities, folks.
Conversion to Islam.
While they distracted us with China. You know what I knew the whole time? Because thank you, God, for allowing me to have this perspective. Thank you, Divine, for giving me this perspective, because I was able to be born into a very, 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 very niche position. I know this because I have a relative who was a vice president of the United States, who's been long dead, but it was my grandfather's great uncle. And he literally, I don't even know why my grandfather would talk to me about this stuff, because we didn't really interact that much. He didn't talk to me much, but I'd be around him a lot. And what he would tell me, it's like somewhere in him spiritually knew where my life was going, because, you know, he said, oh no, they just want you to believe that Russia and China are your enemies, but they're one of their best friends. This whole time they've been just playing bad guy like WWE. I mean, yeah, they're doing a lot of shit, okay, but they're opportunists. They don't have a religion that teaches them to fucking kill Christians. They aren't about that. They're not trying to have genocide. They're trying to manage mass population in China, overpopulation. Okay, and in countries like India where they don't get really strict, it gets disgusting and it gets incredibly racist, apartheid. I mean, it's scammy. But China's been able to figure out how to do it, and you do have to get kind of authoritarian when you have so many people in such a small area. You know, I understood why they've had a limit on births. there's things that are common sense and things that you can look at when you zoom out. But when you start to realize that everything going wrong in the world is spiritual, it really starts to make it clear who your actual enemies are and who's doing what. Because China, like I said, they're opportunists. They're smart motherfuckers, man. They're the math fucking people, man. They're gonna freaking take what we do, freaking copy it and make it cheaper. That's their thing. They got a lot of people to feed. But the Islamists and the Zionists are the two most concerning to me, because you're never going to convince them that what they're doing is wrong. See, China, through diplomacy, you can have conversations with, because they know how to, between two cultures, speak on a scientific level to each other, America and China, in an economic language as well. They care about money and technological prosperity, and they have that in common. That's why things never fucking pop off with China. That's why Donald Trump, because he was one of us and actually was a man of American business, knows how to deal with them. These Islamists and these Zionists, there's no convincing them. There's no nothing meeting at the table. It is death to Christians, and with the Zionists, it's death to anyone who's not a Jew. Like, there's Hasidic Jews, plenty of them if you do research, saying on camera by independent journalists, yes, they think that they're the only ones deserving of, like, the earth. It's really deep. And I'm not laying in bed at night, like, stressing out about it, because it's very clear to me. What I lay in bed at night and think about is, how can I be a servant to the divine? How can I help the spirit of truth? How can I be a lighthouse for those that are confused but have that feeling inside them, and they just, need to know that there's others out here thinking the same, and we're drumming up support because we got to do this quick. It's getting bad. I honestly didn't think all this would get here this quickly. When I was a 14, 15-year-old Jehovah's Witness, my dad kept me very aware of politics, and he told me, he was like, I think your grandkids are going to watch Armageddon, whatever it actually is. I think they're going to see it, and I think, ooh, there goes my spidey senses. I think it is what's going to happen, and it's very, very close. We are living in the last days. A last of an era. The Anglo-Saxon world power. You just got to figure out how you're going to survive, because it's going to get bloody.
And in prisons have also contributed to its growth over the years. New Jersey has the largest Muslim population by percentage, with 3% of the total population being Muslim. Mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, Muslim. Mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, Muslim. Mayor of Richardson, Texas, Muslim. Vice President of the Minneapolis City Council, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. U.S. House Representative, Muslim. New York City mayoral candidate,
So
Muslim.
I really
Minneapolis.
like the comments in this video by Political Fabian. It's funny. My roommate's name is Fabian, so it's not my roommate. This Islamic takeover of America is underway. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib. That was the lady I couldn't remember at the beginning of the video. Andre Carson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, wait. Ish. I miscounted. I might be off by 1 or 2. I think 11 Islamic representatives of the American people. If you are a legal immigrant, you're an American and you've assimilated, like Charlie was talking about. They're not representing those people. They're representing these illegal immigrants who did not swear that oath, who did not learn our national anthem, and do not look at us like neighbors. Islam is the third largest religion in the world, around 6 to 8 million Muslims in the U.S. There's 2,769 mosques counted in the year 2020. The number of mosques has nearly tripled since the year 2000. Around 300 Islamic schools exist in the United States, and about 30,000 Americans convert to Islam per year. Just wanted to reiterate all that. While they took away your Christian prayers in school and the salute to the flag, and then they come in and fake their immigration status and fake their doctorates and get into your schools like that dude that made Fox News, who was a dean of a school and isn't even legal and never went to school for that. Also Muslim, also had guns at school. So I think we should have some fun. A little bit, from your favorite Christian witch. No way. Fortune tellers were scamming people? No. Crikey. Okay. Two videos? Okay.
Prosecutors in Montgomery County say they've busted a fortune-telling scam. This is video of police arresting Gina Marks and Steve Nicholas in Kearney, New Jersey, after a private investigator hired by one of the victims helped track them down. According to prosecutors, the pair stole more than $600,000 from two clients. They worked at Jenkintown Psychic Visions, and they allegedly promised to remove curses. In exchange, they demanded cash, clothing, concert tickets, and gift cards. Prosecutors want any other possible victims to contact them. Prosecutors in Montgomery County say they've busted a
Okay. Here's my opinion on this. Both of them scammers. The client and the psychics. Because if you were a fucking psychic, you would know what they were fucking up to. Because your morals as a psychic is to ask, okay, look, if this client really had a curse on them, the shit that you had to do to remove the curse would freak them out so much that they would never talk to anybody about it ever. They would never want it coming out in public because it's intimate, it's deep, and it's a very spiritual experience. That is if you're dealing with an actual real spirit medium who has the gift of the Holy Spirit. It's not a scary experience. It's just a deeply, intensely personal purge that has to be done with the help of someone who is spiritually gifted, because demons are manifested by ourselves. What the Bible talks about are daemons, which are ethereal creatures. It also talks about demons, which are a manifestation of your fears, your guilt, your remorse. Because if the kingdom of God is within you, then if God is all things, and God is also the devil, because God is everything, the devil's just the other side of that coin. That means hell is also within you, and the devil is also within you. So, if it was a real psychic, first of all, a real psychic is going to not ask for money for this, because it isn't about that. If that were real, it's about saving somebody's life. And as a light worker, it's about duty, because this person is brought to you and they're not sought out. It's not a customer. Customers are people that want advice at the moment in life they're in and just kind of want to tap into. What happened to the sound? Are we good?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
In your ears?
We don't hear ourselves in it.
Okay, what happened here? Okay, so it's about our duty and calling to be there, and you don't get a customer. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Customers want advice via their ancestors, via helping them hear divine a little better, helping them with their life path, helping them achieve contentment, serenity, and understanding what their destiny is and all that stuff. That's what it's for. It's not fortune telling. Like, everyone has free will. God can't even predict what you're going to do. Like, that's what free will is. However, there's destiny, but it's not. That doesn't mean you don't have free agency. It just means you have a spirit team up there that's being the bumpers sometimes. Because when it's not your time, it's not your time. See, there's the sound again. See, now I hear the sound again. All right, so, that's what that is. And you're just being a conduit, a tool for spirit. You are taking no glory. You do have to protect yourself. You have to recharge yourself. And you get your compensation in other ways. It's a spiritual compensation. It's not monetary. So, like, yeah, if you're trying to pay someone to break a spell, they're a fraud. And you probably already know that if you even know to look for... Why does the sound keep going in and out? Oh, I bet you my transmitter's dying. That's what that is. I won't be able to hear the videos. That one's dead. That's dead. So, yeah. Poor guys. But I want to see something funny. But I can't hear the videos, so... We have a problem. This is fine. It's the transmitter right there. It needs the cord. The charging cord. Which is... Yeah. But, yeah, so... I hope you check out my live from yesterday, because I had a guy on there that was like explaining like kind of how similar the stuff in the Bible is to like witchcraft, and like, is it actually what they say it is? Is it really like this dark, gloomy thing like Hollywood likes to portray it to be? And like, it's just, I think it just comes down to the nature of a person. We're all connected to that force, whether you know it or not, but if you're a bad person, that's going to manifest as bad things. And if you're a good person, it's going to be manifested that way too. So, and a lot of people don't realize that there are tons of witches that are Christian. How do you think the Bible writers freaking did what they did? You can't say that you can't make the claim that they could hear the voice of God and then turn around and tell anybody else after the Bible became printed that if they hear a voice of God, they're crazy. It's kind of obvious when they are. They seem crazy when they're crazy. It's like someone walking around saying, I'm Julius Caesar, or I'm a man, or when they're actually a woman, or we know they're crazy. But then there's people like Charlie, who is like connected to God, So, fortune tellers scamming people, part 2.
When a Montgomery County woman reached out to private investigator Bob Nygaard, he says he knew the subject well.
She was going by Psychic Aquarius or Naomi Aquarius. So we have, Naomi and Aquarius, and I have Aquarius.
But her name is Gina Marie Marks, and police say she had theft cases in Florida and in Maryland, and a forgery case in New York. Marks operated her fortune-telling and psychic shop along Old York Road in Jenkintown. It's empty now. Marks and her alleged accomplice, Steve Nicholas, were arrested last month. Nygaard was there. He says he worked to gather information on Marks after his client told him she turned over more than $500,000 in cash and luxury items to Marks in the hopes of ridding her life of the black magic she says Marks claimed was cast upon her.
This is the 5th time since 2008 that I started an investigation that's led to her arrest.
Despite laws forbidding fortune-telling, including in Pennsylvania, experts say people still get away with it. At times, the crimes are not viewed as seriously, they say, because victims willingly part with their money.
I've seen it so many times where they're caught and they get a slap on the wrist, so to speak. There's very seldom jail time in something like this.
Just depends on the state you're in.
And they're out there doing it again, moving to some other location.
Because some states will look at that as, well, it's just contract law at this point. Like, this is just what you agreed to. If you're that stupid to fucking consent to that dumb shit, then here's your punishment, and I'm going to award the plaintiff for you being dumb.
Livingood is a former police chief who has investigated dozens of these cases. He's not affiliated with this one, and he says people are easily taken advantage of, and says no one can tell the future.
They will keep.
I want to know what was so bad and what was going on that she was willing to give away her entire fortune.
Baiting you and drawing you in.
When a Montgomery County woman reached out to private investigator Bob Nygaard, he said,
Wow. Stupid is as stupid does, folks. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the dating videos. And if there's anybody that you are interested in, please feel free. We will make your acquaintance with these people. Some of them are probably very old now or dead. So hopefully, we'll be able to locate them. More VHS dating tapes. These are classics, folks.
Well, I think the best way to ask me on a date is just say,
I love her hair.
Hey, Betsy, I would like to go on a date with you.
I love her. I agree. I hate all that freaking shit. Thank God. My husband did exactly that, and boom, married for a very long time. If you were lucky if you made it freaking, the longest relationship I had before him was like 2 years because I just don't put up with no shit. Everybody else was like, hey, did you make the 90-day cut? Nope, bye. I agree. Just fucking say it. Like, I don't have time for that shit. I'm not a fucking little girl. I don't have time. Just yes or no. Bye, yes, no. I love that.
We go to a restaurant I have never been before, probably something exotic like Cuban food or something. I've never had
I'm seeing why he picked these videos. Oh, he didn't see them, he says, even though he's also Cuban. This is suspicious to me. Right, folks?
plantains. My worst qualities are that I'm too cute.
She's adorable. She is.
What I'm looking for in a man is somebody quiet but
She's like
strong.
me. Oh
Somebody
my
who don't like to
God.
fish.
She could
Maybe
be my
not
auntie.
so close to his mama. When I was growing up and I was upset about a boy, my mom used to say, Betsy, I don't know why you're crying over this boy. You know, there was only one perfect man. Well, thanks a lot, Mom. That doesn't help at all, but it kind of makes sense.
Growing up. Yeah,
Probably somebody who likes
I get it,
going
but
to Red Lobster or
I need a little of the devil in there too, you know. They gotta have that dark, dark in the eyes look. Like you up to no good, but you got a good heart. Like Rip from Yellowstone.
Sizzler once in a while. You know what I mean? Somebody who likes the finer things in life.
Adorable.
A date that you don't.
You would have went on a date with her back then. Oh, yeah. She's so cool. She's just, yeah, I know. She's so great, and I love her outfit. She's in a tracksuit windbreaker thing. Her hair is like freaking very, very hip for the time. I'm a hairdresser, so I know. So she takes good care of herself. I mean, she's got her dewy skin going. She takes good. She moisturizes every night. She likes to be pretty. She's cute. She's sassy. She's smart. She's confident. I love it. She reminds me of my Aunt Kathy. And also she's got that sense of humor.
Don't even know what time it is. And maybe you're a little tipsy. Give him a little kiss on the cheek or something. Well, I think the best way to ask me on a date is just say,
she's so cute. I would date her. She could be a mama. All right. Oh, yes. Next. Or is that the last dating video? Okay, good. We got,
Hello, dear ladies, young girls, not below 18, of course.
Oh, my God. He's so cute, too. Oh, he's like, I like them young, folks, but legal.
If I would want people, I'm sorry, ladies older than 40, I could have it without divorcing my previous 4 wives. I'm gonna pamper you
I love it.
when we're gonna meet first time.
Oh, I'm gonna pamper you when we meet first time. He likes to treat his ladies very well.
But you have to be gentle, sweet, nothing vulgar. Give me.
I love that. I think that's a very good exchange. I know how to wrap it up and be a little kitten when I need to be. Shoot, and the more you get pampered, the more you do act like a little baby, because, you know, brings out the daddy issues a little bit.
Real, genuine, modest, wonderful, intimate. Let's talk as it is. Sex. We're gonna get to know each other. I want you to learn who I am, to feel for me. I tell you the story. We were in a huge carnival. And my parents told me that.
What is his
And I get lost.
ethnicity? What is
And they
that
don't know where I
accent? He's got a little machismo in him, and I like that. Boris. Okay, so what is he? Russian, German, Russian, German?
Probably Russian.
He like, oh yeah, Russian men are, yeah.
And I get lost. Wow.
I love that he wants to tell a
And
story. He's a romantic.
My parents told me that. And I get lost. And they don't know where I am. They've been looking around, a lot of people. And then they saw me walking beside the beautiful, tall legs of lady with a short skirt. I was just walking like this. Where she going, I'm going.
What?
Ladies
You dirty boy.
are my real passion.
We know,
You
baby.
are
Arr,
my
arr.
life.
He likes that good punani.
You are my breeding.
Aww.
You my universe.
Woo!
Hello?
He's a romantic. He sounds a little Italian too. I don't know what he is. Like, is he an actor? This is real? It's so Pepe Le Pew. It gives me Cuban vibes a little bit too. So maybe that's the Russian link thing. Maybe I'm sensing Iberian. I don't know. It could be anything, but I'm just trying to think through the masculine cultures and like kind of where they come from. Because he likes the ladies. That's all right. I get it. I like men, but I also hate them.
I am an M80 firecracker with generous hips.
Whoa, baby! She looks like she should be on King of the Hill.
What's shaken? I'm Tina Terranova. I don't know about love at first sight. I mean, come on. Can we be realistic here? I'm not going to settle. Look around. Everybody settled.
She is not lying. I love her. She's like, y'all. She's like, I'm the sapio over here.
My best quality is my unwavering allegiance to myself.
Woo! We can see it. Because you look like you want to throw fists, though, kind of all the time.
I know who I am. If you don't or you can't figure it out, I'm not a great sleeper. I do a lot of horse kicks in the night.
She's a very aggressive Viking woman. She looks very Scandinavian.
So you're going to have to be patient. Other than that, I'm friggin' great. Have I ever been in love? Sure.
The Lion Queen.
I don't like when guys are too talkity with a waitress. I find it revolting.
See, I love it. I think it's hysterical, and I like that shit on. Also, because girls just tend to like act retarded around my husband because he's cute, and it's just kind of funny to torture him.
Call her honey. Act like a human being. I don't like it if you want things from me. Period.
I agree. I like that too. I am here to serve, so don't want anything. Get it?
Do I believe in God? I mean, if this is the kind of conversation I'm going to have on a date, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to excuse myself.
What? What happened? Did it just stop? Why did it stop?
Go to the loo. I'm going to sneak out the back door of the restaurant, and I'm going to hitchhike to a water park. I don't want to talk about God with anybody.
Water park.
That's why I didn't have kids.
Oh my God. So I wouldn't date her, but she'd be like one of my besties for sure. I'd be like, this bitch is going to have my back in battle. I love her. She's a woman of conviction. I love it.
Sir, my name is London. I'm here to find my soulmate. At this point, I'm thinking just about anyone would be just fine. Anybody that can spend the time with me is somebody worth spending time with. I have several pastimes. I enjoy nightlife.
It's very autistic.
I enjoy the club scene. I love dancing. Yes. I'm big on dancing. It's a great way to meet people. I have a unique culinary gift in which I am capable of creating delicious meals on a shoestring budget. So the perfect first date would involve a beach. What we do on the beach is rather unimportant because it is the beach and there is fun to be had there regardless of activity. And so I might take my date to the pier. We may stroll
He was
upon the
dancing all around that one, all autistically awkward. How cute. You don't need to ask me what I'm going to do with my date on the beach. We can't talk about that. So I'm going to attempt to talk about it in a way that makes it seem like I'm talking about it under the circumstances that we don't talk about it. Sure. All right. So, let me watch the end of him. I have such a soft spot for autistic people.
and enjoy a soft pretzel. Sure, my name is London.
Aww. He does need to just be loved, folks. Aww. He seems like he's very easy to deal with because, well, on one hand, because it's obviously autism, but, breaking him out of his habits is never going to be a thing. But he seems very, self-aware. And for him to say, I understand, what I am, and I probably have a very difficult side, and if someone would just be grateful enough to just, want to just be around me, that would be enough. And that is so sweet, honestly. And this is why I always have this soft spot for people with autism, because they are genuinely really good-hearted people. They really are. They just have such an honest purity to them that you just can't help but love. They never mean any harm, but they are so honest. You just get so protective over them. I hope he finds his love, his lady love. I think he would be so appreciative. Okay, let me see the next dating video.
My name is Theodore Skip Wormsley, U.S. Army.
What era are these?
This is between 1986 and 1991.
Okay. All right, let me give a look at him.
Retired. Was medically retired because of. My name is Theodore Skip Wormsley, U.S. Army 3rd Infantry. Retired.
Could you imagine that? You're in the military. You got to be like, Skip Wormsley. Skip Wormsley. It's a mouthful. He better be proud of it, though. Just damn. Yeah, I love that he's got his freaking man meat out. So cute. I love a hairy chest. It's ooh. You alright? Oh, it's something the kitty meow. Yeah, chest hair, purr.
Medically retired because of some non-medical issues, some drug-related issues. Cleaned up my act. Moved out here to the West Coast, looking for the woman of my dreams. Like I said, they call me the worm for a reason. I'm not just a mustache, but for a nickel, you can ride it. So I'm a big boob guy. Well, I can do push-ups all day, with or without a partner.
Ryan, you better keep him away. Keep him
3
away.
words to describe myself: hostile, mobile, and agile. I do not believe in love at first sight. I believe it's something like...
That's you. That's you right there. that's why we end up fighting a lot. Me and my husband we scrap at each other. I don't know why we keep doing it. We just like, there's some fucking meme that every few years like runs around, and it's like the couple that really loves each other or something, and it's like, hey, fuck you. Well, fuck you too, motherfucker. You smell like dog shit. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm just like, oh God, shamefully relatable. I understand what I am. I am a tiger. Takes a skilled person to bring the kitten out.
Love needs to be developed over the first few hours of a relationship.
Few
where you show
hours.
that you're financially stable and that you know how to handle your business in the sack.
What have I said? Really, that is all it takes. If you're that type of guy, if you better have that self-awareness, be financially stable that you can show rather quickly and like proof of it lasting for a really long time. And because why women care about that so much, it's not about being a gold digger. It doesn't matter about what you make. It's how you handle your money. That tells us everything you are as a man, whether you're self-disciplined, whether you're goal-oriented, whether you are commitment focused, whether you think ahead. It's just a lot, it represents a lot, and it represents a lot about your pride and that your time is valuable, and and then being good in the sack. I said this, I don't think, like in my first video, like it helps be very forgiving when you really can't say that, because the truth is about marriage, you don't always like each other. Sometimes you fucking hate each other. It's just like this weird dichotomy, though, like where you just, but you just know, like for some reason you stay, and I don't know, maybe that's just the echo of destiny. But marriage is like work. I don't think soulmates just freaking bing, like just clink up. I think there's like a whole process to it, and I think it's a delicate dance. But yeah, being good in the sack, that's the primal instincts. You gotta show her that you could easily kill her, but you don't, because she's your just most precious little gem, little delicate flower that can turn it. A guy like that, though, doesn't want a weak woman. They don't want a woman that's like gonna fall over and like just like be overcome by another man. They kind of like a woman that kind of aren't sure might hit them back. That's the dichotomy of being with a man like this.
Do I believe in a soulmate? No, I do not. I'm strictly a Caucasian dater. Hot oils, strong thumbs,
Strictly Caucasian
Hawaiian
dater.
music. These are all things that
submissive women
touch me at a level of frequency that I first experienced in a small Quonset hut. Get a little emotional thinking about it, but I'm going to need a minute. If a genie...
He's weird. Now he's getting weird. Yeah, even if they're cutting everything, it's a little creepy. He's getting emotional about the first time he got laid, or maybe he's talking about being on some Aya.
He said, hey, Skip, here's 3 wishes. What do you want? A couple titties? I don't have a family.
What a simple man.
Currently. I'm packing downstairs, ladies. That's what makes me different. Okay?
But no, he's not, though. But he actually isn't, because if you actually look at his crotch, it's rather flat, and not to be TMI, but I would know, because you guys know me. I'm not gonna settle, and when it's totally relaxed, it's not just a flat wall right there between their legs, like you can see. You're just sometimes not sure if they're like, are they? No, yes, no. Are they? Not quite sure, if they're there. He's not packing. He's a shit talker. He got that mouth. Yeah, that's why he said you can sit on it. He's a slick talker, folks. This is a Rico Suave. Ew, and he will fuck anything that moves. Ugh. Run, ladies, run for the hills. You're better off with that old dude, because he wants to treat you like a lady. The one with the glasses earlier. Yeah, he bounces titties. He's creepy. Ew. At first I was rooting for him, but he just ended up creepy. Oh, Scandinavian.
I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to meet you.
He reminds me of that character from Metalocalypse. Toki or Floki, yeah. Loki, Floki, Toki. I don't know. The blonde one in Metalocalypse. That's this guy.
Obviously, I need a girl with some style, someone that can go around town. Well, I play bass, trying to learn the keyboards, man, but it's tough, going like that. Well, I'm in between bands right now. I was part of a power slop trio, but, we didn't do so good. My best qualities, I'm starting my 9th semester at community college soon. I believe firmly the key to a good relationship, man, is... I need
That's what happens when the nigga gets high, folks. No, I'm not.
Someone that can go around town.
Multitasking.
I play bass.
Okay, hold on. I heard I played bass.
Bass, trying to learn the keyboards, man, but it's tough, going like that. Well, I'm in between bands right now.
Of course you are.
I was part of a power slop trio.
He seems very autistic
but,
as well.
We didn't do so good. My best qualities, I'm starting my 9th semester at community college soon. I believe firmly the key to a good relationship, man, is just whenever you get into a fight or whenever you don't agree with something, just bail, man. It sounds corny. I know, I'm a romantic. Do I want to have kids? Yeah, I think that could be fun, man. As long as the wife and kids are okay with me out drinking and partying and rock and rolling all night, every night, and then, working about 1 or 2 days a week. As long as that happens, man, I can't wait to meet you. Obviously, I need a girl with some style.
That's so funny. He's just another, clearly autistic, very forward. I love how forward they are because it makes it easy to find who you want. And I love that they're putting these videos in. I love that. Aw. Those were great. My favorite lady. Oh, there's still one more? Oh, is it this striped short lady? Okay. She has a big, pretty smile. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Why should you date me? Because I am the opposite of your mother. I'm fun. I'm crazy, I'm wild, and we're gonna have fun together. Let's go partying. I'm a senior beauty consultant with Mary Kay, so I host a ton of house parties. The parties get nuts, and it ends in a lot of sales for me. My worst qualities. Oh, why can't they just find that out on their own? Warning. Fine. I'm needy. I don't think I have been in love before. Wouldn't I know? My biggest fear is growing old and boring. Being with this person, I don't even know him anymore, and we're sitting on a big, ugly couch, and we're eating hot dogs and mac and cheese, and just catatonic watching something on the TV. That is my nightmare. I hope that does not happen to me. I'm a horrible cook, but I'm great. I'm great at being a guest at a restaurant. Because I love going out to dinner. Why should you date me? Because I am the opposite of your
many autistic ones. It's because they have a hard time dating in real life. She looks like the TV has an alert for you, like the stripes or whatever. But well, folks, my dear gentlemen, if you want to date her, you better either get a hold of some Adderall or some other equivalent, because you're going to need a lot of coffee and Viagra. She going to get bored easy. Who's this fella right here? Okay.
The key to a good relationship is spontaneity. I want you to come in when my friends are there with a suitcase and say, ladies, the night's over. Me and Ronnie are going to Mazatlan. So my name is Ronnie. Well, it's Rhonda, but don't call me that unless you're mad at me. I love going out to dinner.
I can relate to that.
It makes me so sad when it's, oh, what should we do tonight? Let's just stay at home, have some beef stew. I could cry. I always wake up and the first thing I do is dance because I am fun. Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker. Do I believe in God?
She's a fucking chain
Well, that's
smoker.
no fun. What are you doing down there? Judging every move I make? Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely
Tear me
not,
to
no.
shreds. What I'm looking for in a man,
Yeah, I would
big,
burn if I
beefy
walked into a
arms. I
church.
better not be able to wrap my hand around it, especially even this. I don't even want to be able to. I'm spontaneous. I like to go on trips. You knock on my door, you say, hey, we're going to Vegas. Woo! I'm up. I don't care.
I
Let's
could
go
keep
to
up with
Vegas.
her. I'm the chill friend for
Let's
people
gamble.
like that.
The
I
key
can
to
go
a good
and go and go. I'm with the Energizer Bunny. I love to experience life. People like her are a load of fun. I got a friend named Brad Tumblr. He is my wild Energizer Bunny. You guys should check out his music. I should probably get him to get on my show, but just look up at Tumblr. TUMBLUR. He's got some really cool original music, and I'm so proud of him. I'm gonna put him in the chat here just so he sees that I am promoting too. I think that's it, right?
So that's the first U.
TM Blur. Okay, so his username is TM Blur. Are you sure? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to put him in the comments after I post this, but if you just type in anything like, I think it's TUM Blur. Maybe we could look in the browser really quick. But anyway. Well, we can save more dating videos for later. We can get to the last two videos now that we've had some comedic relief. Okay, so it is Tumblr official. So yeah, I'm gonna type his music in here. Tumblr _official. Okay, so we're done with the dating videos. We got 2 more to go through. This is I can't believe how long this show has gone on. All right, we are almost at the end. You guys are freaking great.
Why should you date me?
That girl was hysterical. All right, so did Trump just...
It is...
Yeah, TikTok hasn't been acting right. All right, so did Trump just make peace in the Middle East, folks?
President Trump has just announced on social media that Israel and Hamas signed off on the first phase of a peace agreement. Let's bring in CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gosses. Olivia, thank you for being with us. President Trump says there is an agreement on this first phase of the peace plan. What does that entail?
That's right. This was as much of a nail-biter as there ever was. There had been expressions of cautious optimism throughout the day, but it really came together this evening with the president's announcement. I mean, even as of this morning, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was slated to travel for a day to Paris to meet with foreign ministers from the region about governance in post-war Gaza. He told lawmakers instead that he called off that travel because this deal was close and it would require him possibly to travel to the region instead. An eagle-eyed photographer even captured a moment when Secretary Rubio handed President Trump a note that said that the negotiators were very close and he had to approve this Truth Social post announcing the parameters of the deal. We know that negotiators had been working very hard, heads down in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and were focused on this stage at hammering out just how this initial part of the agreement agreement will work, down to sequencing how far back Israeli forces will need to go and what conditions on the ground need to be in order to have the living hostages handed over. And once they were close enough, they were joined today on the U.S. side by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and aide to the President Jared Kushner, top aides to Prime Minister Netanyahu, Ron Dermer were also there, a Qatari contingent, Egyptian contingent. And now this is all still just on paper, and the real test will come when the hostages are expected to be handed over in the coming days. Israel will have to make good on its promise to deliver close to 2,000 Palestinian prisoners in exchange, and of course to withdraw its forces to an agreed upon line. We are still waiting for the exact details to come, but the president announcing tonight something monumental after 2 years of brutal war.
While y'all
want to clarify, this is the
Well, y'all started freaking losing faith in him. You always have to just wait. He's not gonna he's a poker player. He's a real poker player. Trump. Ha! That's what Netanyahu gets for saying he controls Trump.
first phase of a peace plan. What else needs to be agreed upon?
That's right. This is just part of
2,000 people he got released who want to just fucking go to a culture that is them, or can at least closer relate to their life, or at least get the hell out of there. 2,000. Good for him.
What was a broader 20-part deal that the president laid out first on the margins of the UN General Assembly to Arab and Muslim leaders. That was a 21-point plan. Then it evolved to a 20-point plan when he met with Prime Minister Netanyahu, who visited him at the White House in the Oval Office. And that plan includes a scenario for post-war, what governance is supposed to look like, what the role for the Palestinian Authority may be, what disarmament will need to look like for Hamas. Those are the details that the negotiators are going to have to continue working on after this first phase. But President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu had always made clear that a full-scale release of all of the hostages and the remains still in Hamas's possession were a prerequisite for the rest of the negotiations to continue.
Olivia Gassis, thank you so much. Our President Trump.
Interesting. You know, Trump's a fascinating man. He's a fascinating man. He knows how to make people feel understood. And you need that in a leader, because you can't make deals happen. Both sides have to feel good about something, and both sides will lose something. That's just what makes a fair deal a deal. And you have to have a good, strong leader with a strong moral compass to make that happen. I mean, he was able to get Israel to agree to letting go of 2,000 Gazans. I don't care what it means for Hamas. I don't care. I know. But right now, where they're at, it's going to be better, at least for living, than where they're at. So, you know, morals is something they'll have to think about on their own. But go Trump for getting 2,000 Gazans out of there. You know, you guys, like, I know it's natural to start to doubt, but like I've always thought that, you know, Trump is part of divine plan. So it was the stolen election, also part of divine plan. It's a very, you know, it's like watching King David, you know. It's interesting. An American being so much like God's King David. Last video, folks. Someone get the fire extinguisher because the Dems' pants are on fire.
Joe Biden never targeted his political enemies. Joe Biden never directed his attorney general to target his political opponents. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that yesterday we learned that the FBI tapped my phone. Tapped my phone, tapped Lindsey Graham's phone, tapped Marsha Blackburn's phone, tapped 5 other phones of United States senators. Gee, it sure looks like targeting political opponents to me, and yet I haven't
happened
heard a
to me.
word from that side of the dais about any concern whatsoever. We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for a Justice Department that is tapping the phones of sitting United States senators because who knows why. They don't like them. They're members of the opposition party.
Oh, my
They're
God.
Republicans. They're conservatives. You're going to do a thorough investigation into this, I trust. Is that correct?
We will be looking at all aspects of this, and I have talked to Director Patel at length about
And
this.
Joe Biden never targeted his political
They're
enemies.
telling the truth, y'all. That happened to me. They stalked the ever-loving hell out of me. They tried to steal my house. They tried to ruin my credit and my husband's credit. They are horrible human beings. That DOJ. And that was during the 2022 primary cycle for me. So this was definitely the Biden regime. Anyway, good news that they're going to be prosecuting that. That makes me happy. I think I should write a letter about what happened to me to Pam Bondi. And because people need to know. People need to know how the mafia inside our government works and the tactics they use. And they try to destroy my life. They didn't care if my kids were homeless and sleeping on the street. It's all about money, you know? It's all about that $93 million my congressional seat was valued at. That I didn't even know that number until the election was over. But you can see how $93 million motivates people. But anyway, this was a really long one tonight. It was cool. It was, we do have one more? Oh, we got a bonus video. Are we gonna fucking roast Mamdani? What? Ew. What'd I tell you that he was soft? What'd I tell you he's soft? He looks like a worm. Alright, folks. New York City's gonna fucking Islamic extremist for mayor. Better move the hell away from there. You better freaking fight. I was gonna call the senators, but I'm getting freaking tired. This is going on a really long one tonight. It was fun. But I'm gonna be strategic about calling these senators because I would like to do it during the day. Because this government shutdown is all about fucking forcing, I think, maybe that might be too bold, but in a few days, 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that, if you get arrested, well, the court is going to shut down and you will be stuck there. So this seems like the exact amount of pressure they need to put on the people to spark a civil war, because look at where we're at this very moment in time. People are not able to renew their insurance. People are not able to, it's going to be all areas of government business. You won't get your mail. You won't be able to do anything at the DMV. Absolutely nothing. And we have all of these Islamists who have become mayors all over the country. And now we're in a government shutdown because Chuck Schumer is being bullied by Islamists inside Congress. And they are trying to pressure cook us into a civil war. And literally, we know this because they themselves were the ones that said on camera many, many times that a government shutdown is wrong. And they already voted on this bill 13 times. There's absolutely no reason for this other than to hurt people and make them go crazy and start turning on everything. But you know what? If they want it, I'm ready to bring it. All right. Good night. You guys have a blessed Thursday night. I'm glad I'm actually getting off at a decent time, although the show is long. Love you all. Good night.